Now it's working. Hey guys, welcome to the TaterCast with our first host, King Icespike. And if you don't know who King Icespike is, he is a pretty decent guy, good all around, and something of a notorious shit poster. Come introduce yourself, man.
Oh hi there, potato. uh, I'm King Ice Spike. Usually people either call me Ice or Spike. Either one's fine. Uh, yeah, I'm on Twitter and I make my own memes and I post memes. That's about it. I mean, I don't really do much on Twitter anyway. Outside of there, I just play lots of games, watch shows.
Yeah,
The usual nerd shit.
ain't nothing wrong with that. If you guys don't know who I am, if you're new to this channel, I occasionally play video games. And right now I'm doing reviews as well as a podcast series, but on Twitter I repost some NSFW shit, and I also just repost memes. That's kind of it. So, yeah. So, Ice, have you seen any interesting movies as of recent?
Trying to think. What was the last movie went to go see? Real quick. Do you remember what was the last movie we went to go see?
Freddy's movie.
What?
The FNAF.
Oh, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was the last movie I saw. It was I actually liked it. Like I know it wasn't 100% with the lore or whatever, but I don't know. Like I was going in like thinking to myself like it was gonna be like total shit. So like when I actually sat down and watched it and it wasn't like awful, I was like, oh, this is pleasantly surprising. I actually kind of like this. But it was I'm trying to think. Uh the story I think was a little bit mixed up and they went with some different plot points that I just wasn't really expecting, but maybe that's kind of what they were planning. Maybe they wanted to do something a little unexpected, but for me, I'm not the best movie critic, but usually for me it's just like, do I like it or do I not like it? And I liked it. So I'm not always the best with descriptions, but it was a fun movie. It was fun. Maybe it was pretty serious, but in 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 a good way. I liked it. Yeah, even if it wasn't maybe the best well received movie. I don't know. I didn't really check out movie reviews. Do you remember anyone saying anything about it?
I know at least one of the groups of friends that I'm a part of were talking about it. It all seemed rather positive. A lot of folks were gushing about Matthew Lillard. How the hell is his name pronounced? Matthew Lillard? Lillard?
Every time I think about him, I'm just Shaggy.
Exactly, Shaggy.
The guy who plays Shaggy. Yeah, that's usually what comes to mind. I completely forget his name.
Yeah, people
I'm
were just gushing about how well he did in that film.
Yeah, he did do good. He was good. He was a good character. I always I've enjoyed him in his previous roles, and in this he did great. He's Everyone always says he's a sweetheart, and I guess that's true because he's a great actor.
Yeah, I've,
But
I've not heard anything bad about him either, which is pretty rare nowadays with celebrities. It seems like if it's not some kind of like sex scandal, it's domestic violence. It gets really screwed up.
there's only a handful, it seems like, that are kind of decent in Hollywood. Like him, maybe like Keanu Reeves, maybe like I can't really think of that. I've heard Jack Black's pretty nice guy. Off screen, he's pretty nice. I don't know. I don't know too many celebrities, but like there's not that many that are like super nice off screen. But because I feel like when you're in Hollywood, like you're just you're more prone. I mean, your job is like as an actor or whatever. Like it's your job to be a fake person.
Exactly. It's like be fake
You
and
know.
don't fuck it up. Like
I th-
that's
I think I heard Joe Rogan talk about this one time where he was just like he has actor friends or whatever, and he's like the problem is that like when you when your entire job is being fake all the time, it kind of bleeds out into like real life and your actual life sometimes.
I hear that's
I
the
mean,
same
not
way with
everybody.
like service workers and with folks who do a lot of work, like as secretaries or
Hmm.
like PA workers, and I hear it's the same as well for like folks who have to do a whole lot of phone calls, like for call centers for like cable service and whatnot.
How
Like it
would
just
that
kind
bleed
of
off?
like it just kind of bleeds out because like once you have that mindset, it's kind of hard to put down your job and just slip back into your real skin. From what I've heard.
With like call centers,
Yeah, because
like
like you have to put on that really friendly, hey, how,
oh right,
yeah, and,
that
like
fake big smile kind of thought process.
yeah, especially with some of these folks. Like I never did call center stuff. I was going to, but I've heard it's pretty soul crushing. Like but like one time, this like pretty recently even, I was on a call with Spectrum, and like you could even hear in the background there was one dude giving the one of the other Spectrum callers all holy oh hell, and it was like holy shit, you guys have to put up with this? Damn.
That 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 reminds me of my one of my old bosses. She re- she was the manager of this one local store, and every time she talked, she had like this like she talked in like that fake like customer service voice. But here's the thing, okay? Like she would talk like that all the time. Like even when there were no customers around, like she would always talk like that. And I was wondering if like just being in customer service so long, she just adopted that voice.
It
And I was
happens.
just
It's
yeah,
like
I
it's
think
like
she
how you know how some people watch like radio shows, like yeah, watch them, I mean, listen to radio shows all the time, or like who've been watching YouTube, kind of just gain this weird accent. Like it's a known phenomenon, like stuff like this happening.
well, I mean, like if you're around, like for example, like if you act, your environment basically shapes you in some ways. So like if you were like constantly like if you from like 10 to 20, like for 10 years, if the only people you hung around with were British, you'd probably pick up a bit of an accent after a while. You know, like it just that's how it goes. You know, like it you if you spend enough time with somebody, you pick some stuff up here and there.
Exactly. Like every now and again, like it's funny you bring up British accents. One of my friends I had during childhood, and like even still is a friend, is actually British, and like occasionally I do find myself like not even thinking and just kind of bringing up some of those sort of just British colloquialisms, not even thinking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I used to fuck around with that, but I can't actually do it. It's just probably offensive now. I can't. I only do. I used to joke around with like the old like the Monty Python way of like that old like Cockney like shitty British. They do not talk like that.
No, they do not, but it is fucking hilarious seeing their
It
faces when
is.
you talk like that.
Yes, I'm sure they would have great reactions to that. Like, what the fuck is this guy on?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Another bloody American fucking talking.
Yeah. It's great. Uh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen any movies here recently? I really I wish that I could say that I've seen a lot of movies recently, but I really haven't. Like I've been watching a lot of shows and stuff. Well, not a lot. I've been trying to show my girlfriend. She's never seen One Piece, so I was like catching her up on One Piece and stuff. And that's a lot to catch up on.
I really got to get back into anime myself. Like, the last time I actually sat down and watched an anime was like uh, a year or two ago. Like, remember back on Twitter when I was really gushing about Restaurant to Another World? Like, literally, it was then the last time I watched any anime, and it was literally that one.
It's I don't really see a lot myself, especially not new stuff. I feel like most of the stuff I watch is old stuff that I'm just rewatching. I like to see new stuff. Oh, okay. So I saw Chainsaw Man, the first season of Chainsaw Man. That was really good.
I've heard
And
that, but those fucking fans, they're weird.
well here's the thing, like you have to my view on like most things is you just have to ignore all the fans. Like just of all things, like because the fans are always the worst of just about some are more annoying than others, but like uh, anyone who's like I'm part of this community or I'm part of that community, like if they call themselves part of a community or whatever,
Oh,
like
it's gonna be some of
sometimes
the most insufferable shit. Yeah,
yeah,
like if you
yeah,
talk
like it
about
just
Radiohead, literally, like if you say, "Yeah, I only liked a couple of songs," like, "Oh yeah, I bet it's fucking Karma Police and Creep." And it's like, I mean, yes, but I do like some of their other shit. Yeah, fuck you, you're not a real fan. Yeah, and I get exactly where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah, the best way to enjoy things is to just watch it or listen to it or do whatever, and then like just talk about it with like your actual friends and stuff, because random people online will just like shit on you all over you for, or make you not like something. Like, for example, I think what was it? Okay, so I love Berserk, right? Like it's a great manga. I love I like the old anime,
I
but I
gotta
will
get
say,
back into Berserk. It was so fun a couple of times I really was into it.
oh yeah, it's great. But one of the problems I have is that like everybody just like gushes about it on the internet so much to the point where it's a little obnoxious at times.
It
But
is
at the
extremely, yes.
but at the same time, like I really like it. I like the actual show. Like I like it. It's just it's kind of like it's like hearing the same song like a million fucking times. It's just like, this thing again. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
you're
like you
always
you
talking
can
about
only
it.
hear Wonderwall so many times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's with a lot of animes and stuff on Twitter, and that, not only that, but like sometimes people want to get in arguments about certain characters and stuff, or like this or that. And it's I try to avoid all that. I watch what I watch, and I try to enjoy it. Like trying to think, what was Invincible. I've been watching Invincible as well. That season 2 came out, but the annoying thing was, I don't know if you caught wind of this. The during the second season, they got like 4 or 5 episodes out. I forget how many it was, and then they're just like, "Well, we're just gonna halt the season, that 4 or 5 episodes in, because we just want you to like take the time and absorb what just happened." It's like, bro, like
It's like, bro, like
the
absorb what
the
happened. I read the fucking Kirkman comics. Fuck off and release our shit.
not only that, but like for me, like, okay, I haven't read the comics yet. Okay, I'm gonna wait until the show's over, and then I'm gonna read it. That's what I always do. I watch the show first, and then I read it, because then I'm like pleasantly surprised, because the manga is almost always
I get
better
where you're
than the
coming
show.
from. Yeah.
But anyway, the point is that the week that I'm waiting to see the next episode, that is my sink-in time. Okay, like I don't need any more sink-in time than that. Half the time, in fact, most of the time, I don't even do like weekly show releases. What I'll do is I'll wait for the whole thing to be done, and then I'll just binge watch it all the way through, because that way I don't forget anything.
That's what I do too. And then that way I can just watch it with someone if I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, some people, I've talked to some people, and what they like to do, they like that tension of like, oh, like what's gonna happen like next week or whatever. And I guess that's kind of interesting, but I have such a bad memory. Like I just like you said, just binging all the way through, because
I understand bad memories, dude. I have brain damage, like actual legitimate brain damage. My recall is fucked. You don't have to explain brain, like not remembering
is
shit, man.
is it because you're a potato?
No, it's from birth. It was a shit show. I'm legitimately surprised I'm not suffering from mental retardation. Like it was that close.
I'm not too far off myself. I was pretty dumb. I've been pretty dumb my whole life, honestly. They actually, I was really close to being brain dead. They had funny enough, actually, when I was born, I was a C-section baby, but the thing was is that they spent too much time with me trying to get me out, and they said if they had like been like a couple more minutes more, I could have like just died from like lack of air or whatever.
That's
So I actually
insane.
yeah, I got really lucky. So yeah, but anyway, back to the other stuff. Go ahead.
Like you were talking about weekly releases building up tension. Like I can kind of understand that, but like with the rise of streaming, like a lot of people have like moved the hell away from like being able to do the weekly releases because a lot of people, like especially the ones who kind of grew up with that shit, are kind of either fading out or we all got shit to do. It's like I mean, it's cool and all that they're doing the weekly releases still, but some of us, like especially those of us who do 9 to 5s, don't have the time except for maybe on the weekends.
Right. Yeah, it's better to just get it all out the way, because I mean, your work week is filled. You might not be able to remember what happened last week, and maybe you don't have time anyway. Like maybe you only have time, uh, 1 week. Maybe do one of those weird bi-weekly type workplaces or whatever. Maybe you need to get it all done in one day or something like that. Or well, maybe not one day, but like get most of it done in a day. But either way, yeah, like I just feel like it's more handy regardless if you're all at one time because if you're spreading it out so far, I don't know. I feel like most people don't like having to wait all the time.
They a
I
lot
would
like I don't think they do either. It's like especially like you see this on Twitter. Like there's always like it seems like people are impatient for everything. Like doesn't even matter TV shows, any of that. Like even just waiting for others to reply to them. Like you notice that? Like we're just not a patient people anymore.
well, no, I mean, people are getting less and less patient all the time. I mean, it's oops, excuse me.
You're excused.
But like the like people's attention spans are getting less and less. I mean, hell, I have ADHD, and like even with me, like I talked to this girl. She was younger than me. She worked at my work. She pulled up TikTok on her phone really quick, and I don't have TikTok.
I do just for like the car post. There's some really cool Mazda MX-5
there
videos on there.
I'll have like iFunny, and every now and then they'll post TikTok videos on there, and usually there's some of the better ones. Sometimes it depends. There's good stuff on TikTok.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not saying there's not, but I don't have it downloaded. But she was showing me, and here's the thing: like she was showing me like I was trying to think like it was like 6 second. It was like it almost reminded me of Vine because she was showing me like 6 second clips, and then she was just like rapid going through them like one after the other. Like she wasn't even giving me like any time to actually laugh at them. She would just be like, "Okay, here's like a 5 second clip. Here's a 5 second clip. Here's a 5 second clip," and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like she was like, "What?" Like her brain was just like super fast, I guess, because like. But I don't even get it because she didn't even take like a moment to laugh. Like it
That's
was
the
just
thing with
like,
TikTok. Like they are even actually actively encouraging users to make, at the bare minimum, the like 15-second or longer videos. And even then, they're trying to get people to move away from the 15-second, just do the 30-second or above now. Like
well,
they're noticing the attention deficit. It seems like, and like telling you you got to make longer content.
well, that's probably good because the problem is that I do really think that it's bad for your brain because I
Oh, it
mean like
is extremely bad. It's like the fucking infinite scrolling that you can do on Twitter and whatnot. That absolutely fucks you up.
oh yeah, like if I ever have kids at any point, like I'm going to try my best. I'm sure some would see this maybe like abusive or whatever. Well, maybe not abusive, but like I would try to like hold off like social media like as long as possible.
Good.
Cause
Like I
like
was
uh,
exposed to social media at like 8 or 9, and that absolutely fucked me up. Like if I get a kid myself, that fucker is being raised on like old school consoles, like physical books, and obviously learning modern technology. But I am not letting their ass near social media at least until like they're in their teens, like late teens, but still.
yeah, that's pretty much my thought. I was kind of like the opposite on the spectrum. Like it was more like for me, I didn't get like okay, so I didn't get on Twitter until I was like I want to say like 25. So like I was
Oh
very
god, you're
late.
making me realize how young I am. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm only a few years older than that. I just turned 30 last month.
I'm
So, but
23, and I'll still be that for
yeah,
a while.
I still hate that I'm like 30. I keep forgetting that I'm 30 because like I keep thinking that like I'm like like the last 10 years really just fucking flew by. Like I mean like just really like you
The
lose
last
it
five
really.
years did, bro, even.
Oh, trust me, the next 5 will just fly on by. Like the older you get, the faster everything seems to go.
I've
It's
been
crazy.
noticing, unfortunately. Shit, it
Yeah,
seems
like
like just yesterday, even though it's been. Shit, we're actually nearing the 4-year anniversary now. Like, it seems like it was only yesterday that, one of my family members passed, but it's been almost 4 years now.
mhm.
It's
that's
crazy.
that's the thing. When I was a kid, I thought to myself, whenever I was going to hit like 21 or 20 or something, whenever I got older, I thought that maybe I know this is silly now, but when I was a kid, I thought there was going to be like some kind of like switch in my head. You know, like, oh, I'm an adult now. Oh, I know how to do things.
Yes, I get that one fully,
But
but then like when
but then
when that family member died, I learned real quick. No, you got to learn that shit from scratch, buddy, or you're fucked.
yeah, and then when I hit 21 and stuff, and I'm like, shit, I'm just the same dumb kid, but now I'm older. And then here's the thing, like people, because a lot of times people on Twitter they expect you to be like, you know, if you're slightly older, they expect you to be wise and all this shit, and even in like popular media and stuff, people expect you to be kind of wise for like what you do. But here's the thing, right? And I've seen plenty of other dudes do this. All right, so right after you get out of school, right? You get set in a job. Maybe you'll get work in like a warehouse or some shit, you know, something repetitive, maybe like a
Fucking
factory.
never again in a warehouse.
Oh yeah, I've worked warehouses, yeah. But here's the thing. Okay, so let's say you go into a warehouse or some other kind of job. It doesn't really matter. A lot of jobs where you're doing repetitive tasks, you're doing the same shit every day, like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, maybe more, you know, maybe you're working 50, 60, whatever. If you're doing that every single day and it's like, what exactly are you learning?
Yeah,
You're not really learning shit, you know? So it's like 10 years, 15 years, whatever pass by. And then people are like, oh, well, you're like much older and wiser now. It's like, am I though? Like the last 10 years just kind of flew by. And it's like, I didn't really do anything
yeah.
outside of work,
To
you
quote
know?
that one song, just kind of reeled in the years and threw away the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And especially with the economy being the way it is lately, like it's hard to it like for example, I was making more than minimum wage here, but they just upped the minimum wage. So now I didn't get like a raise to compensate for that. So now I'm just getting minimum wage and I was like, shit.
Out of curiosity, what's the minimum wage over there?
It just became $15 an hour.
I think that's what they were saying. They were going to raise it to here too. You know, as if taxes already weren't bad enough. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm glad I'm getting a little bit more, I guess, but I mean, they also won't give me hours. I need to switch my job. I need to find like an actual like career.
Have you considered
I'm
in-home health?
in-home health? What do you
Y-
mean?
Well, there's some companies, at least here in Maine, like that you can actually be paid to take care of folks. Like you can get pretty good pay and like decent hours. Like one of my family members, she works two people. One would be one of the people I help take care of, and one is a person like further away in the state, and like she makes like 20 something an hour. Like it's
Ooh, nice.
yeah, it's pretty good work.
I was I was I was considering I would have to drop work uh for a little bit. I'm not sure, but like at some point I was thinking maybe if I could save up a little money, if I could just do like one more year of school, I could probably do an LPN program and then get like in the ground floor of like a hospital and then become like an LPN. It's kind of like a nurse. It's a type of nurse. It's like a low ranking nurse, but they still make like decent money. They make like I want to say like 50, 60K, something like that. And that's
That's
not
not
bad.
bad at
That's
all.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's more than I'm making now.
That's
So I mean,
significantly more than we're making here. Yeah,
yeah. So I that or I don't know something maybe like IT work or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I
It's just
understand. Like, I gotta call WCCC myself and see about getting the free classes. Where I graduated a couple years ago, with my high sets. Like, I still qualify for the free classes. I'm trying to decide if I want to do IT or if I want to become. Let's see if I can get an apprenticeship for either plumbing or electricity.
I was I took some classes for electricity. It's all right. It's not as bad as well. It's the only thing I don't like about it is and this is the same thing with all trade jobs is that I'm not too fond of. I don't like that when your contract runs out, you have to go and basically like your job just ends and you have to like go find new work. Cuz like I hate the concept of like I hate reapplying to jobs. Like, I know that's just me being lazy, but
No, I
like
fully get it, bro. Like, if you're
it,
doing it, you want to just have a steady, like, constant thing, as opposed to just
yeah.
immediate drop off. I get it.
But to be fair, like if you get to be like an electrician for like the city, like that's just constant work. Like you don't have to worry about uh like contracts running out, because if you work for the city, it's just they have you on the payroll now, so you're not like there is no like contract. It's just you work for them now, which is better. Like if you are going to be like if you try to be an electrician, just try to work for the city if possible, though that's harder to do
Yeah,
because usually they want someone with more experience. But still, outside of that, it's not too bad. Just be careful and don't wire something wrong.
yeah. Like, if I do electricity, the first project I'm doing is actually the main house on this property, because like the electrical work is fucking like it's fucked, like, and it's been kind of fucked for years. Like, we go through electronics way faster than we should, and that's on top of having or not heavy water, but hard water. Like, every day our lights flicker and do all sorts of fun shit. Well, thankfully I don't, because I get power from off a different pole entirely, but in that house it happens, and I'm just like, holy shit. But it's not like any electricians will come, because there's only one electrician that does this whole area, and that dude's constantly booked.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I need to install a few more outlets out where I live. It's it's kind of silly. Okay, so my parents have like this big property. They have like 2.5 acres of like land,
Okay.
and on that land they have like three houses. But like one is my aunt's, one was my grandma's, and then one's where they live. And they have in between two of the houses, there's like this big barn, right?
Nothing wrong with
And
that.
just yeah, and I live out in the barn because it's just like there's a really big room out here, and it's just like better space wise. Like it's way bigger than any of the rooms in the house. So like technically, not entirely bad deal. So I'm in here and I have electricity and everything, but it's kind of like a small apartment out here.
Uh,
And I was running the electricity myself. I've run two. My dad helped me with one of them. The I've run two lines in here, but I still need. I still want to run like two more because you don't want if you have too many. You don't want to put too many things on like one switch, because if you do, that's how you trip a breaker, or catch fire, or some shit like that.
I understand. Like, when we were running the electricity in this camper, because this was a project camper that I lived in, got it completely gutted, and it came in completely gutted, got it like a pretty good deal, and then this year we ran electricity, had to dig the trench, then run the wire, and what we did was we kind of jury rigged it off this really kind of sketchy line that kind of ran to the breaker in a trailer, which is also kind of a barn. But that shit is quite possibly the most reliable electricity on this property. Like, there's no lights flickering or anything, and I'm running a computer, a pellet stove, a game console, like three or no, five displays, and all sorts of shit. And like, I've not seen any of the
on
electricity issues or anything. Like, I even got a mini
on one
fridge. Yeah, on
on one
one.
line.
Yeah,
How many volts was it or whatever?
that is a
Like sorry,
good
amps.
question. Um, I don't know that because I wasn't the one splicing the cable. Because, yeah, no. Like, if
Because
you want
here
me to
because
dig
here's the
the line, I will dig the line. I will put the line through the PVC. I'll get that shit nailed to the wall with those wood staples. Give me that shit all day long. Sure. Have me help you set up the outlet boxes. Sure. Have me like splice wires to connect to the breakers. Yeah, fuck that.
my thing is that like okay, so when you're running like the thing is that like okay, so most outlets are like either most residential outlets are 15 amps, right? That's about like I forget how much it is, something like 1,000 watts or something like that. I don't quite remember. And then you have and then for slightly bigger things you have 20 amps, 20 amp circuits. Those are pretty much the biggest kind of outlets that you'll have in, like, say, a residential home. They're the ones with sometimes they'll have like on the left-hand side, they'll have like a slit on them. And then for like a washing machine, it's bigger. I think it's like 35 amps. But okay, so if you have something that's say like 20 amps, which is usually the biggest you're going to have in residential, I mean, you can't power that much off of just one 20 amp thing. Like you can power like
If I had to guess, it's probably like
two.
like 2 or 3 breakers hooked up. Like I say 2 or 3 breakers, but like it might be like connected to that. Like I don't know for certain, because like again, I wasn't the one who hooked it up to the box or spliced the cable. But
Well,
like
hey,
it
well, hey, as
works.
long as it works, yeah, that's the main thing. Like, because if it didn't work, then like the place would be caught on fire, or like the breaker would have tripped or something. Like,
I
so
mean, I
you're
have
good.
set my
Like,
vacuum cleaner on fire twice, but that's from things unrelated to the electricity.
you set your vacuum on fire. How did you end up doing that?
Apparently, like when I was vacuuming out my pellet stove, apparently there were a couple of hot ashes, so that filter bag in my shop vac is more duct tape than bag.
Oh Lord.
It
um,
works. Like, it's better than the
the
fucking lawnmower and the weed whacker I had set fire, also unrelated. I still don't know why the fuck the lawnmower set on fire, and the weed whacker, it set fire engine first. Thank fuck it was electric.
Oh my Lord, you catching everything on fire.
Yeah, and then I had another one that just died. It shot out like a gear or two. And then there
Oh
was
geez.
the actual electric weed whacker. That thing just died completely. Like it's just
No.
regular, fuel powered. It's Troy built. Speaking of, don't actually buy Troy built weed whackers, like the non-electric ones, because even though it says Troy built, it's actually outsourced to like a whole different contractor and everything. Like it's only Troy built in name.
Uh, reminds me. The shit. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. You were talking about vacuums. I was so happy when I finally got my current vacuum. I can't currently see it. I totally forgot the name of it or whatever, but it has no bag. Like there's no bag in it. It just has like a container and you just empty the container or whatever. That was so handy getting one of those, cuz not having like going bagless is totally the way to go, cuz no fire.
Fair enough.
Way easier, and plus like you don't have to buy new bags like or anything like that, so like it just fills like a plastic container and then you can just empty the plastic container. Super easy. Love it. It's not that expensive either. It was like, well, I say not expensive, it was like maybe like somewhere between like 60 or 80, I totally forget, but whatever, it was worth it. I don't have to buy more bags.
I'm not looking forward to when I eventually have to buy the bag. Like, thankfully, this one has like the bag. Like, the reason it has the bag is it's a filter thing that also makes it that way it actually properly sucks. But like, you can detach the top container like from the bottom part and then just dump out the ash or whatever. Which that is nice, but I wish it wouldn't have had the bag part because yeah,
Indeed, that is a bit of a pain.
yeah.
All right, so what
I,
was
I have an oddball question for you.
a what question?
An oddball kind of question, kind of relating back to a previous topic we were on about that I kind of forgot to ask.
Okay, what is it?
How do you perceive the passage of time?
The passage of time?
Yes,
What is?
like in
Oh,
relation to you.
uh, I would say uh, you're right. That is a bit of an odd question, but all right. So I suppose kind of fast, because I mean like, well, I fast and slow. When I'm at work, everything seems like it's taking forever. But whenever I think back on like what everything that I've done, like it seems really fast. Like everything like seems really fast. Like I keep thinking about like, damn, like am I really like 30 years old? Like that's crazy, like cuz I keep thinking back like I should be younger. Like I can understand, like everyone always jokes about like people who are just like those people who are like, oh, I'm still a teenager or whatever, and it's like I totally get it, because in a sense, like, it's kind of I guess it's kind of a cope, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. I kind of get it, because like, you really don't feel. I'm sure, unless you're like really in like joint pain and all that kind of stuff.
I
Like,
have
unless you're like,
arthritis and have had it since I was 18.
oh, well, then in that case, well, then you probably already feel old.
Yeah, I got it in my
Me,
wrists, I got it in my lower back, I got it in my knees and my legs,
I got,
and my
I,
hands.
I'm pretty lucky. I don't have any major medical problems. I get panic attacks every now and then, but I've gotten over those, I think, because I know that they're panic attacks now. Because here's the thing, I thought they were heart attacks.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I basically, I thought I was having a heart attack, and in turn I had a panic attack, which just made my heart race, which made me think I was having a heart attack. So like, I went to the hospital, and they were just like, "Yeah, you're good, bro. It's fine." But the reason I was worried is because, well, I will say I am really fat, so I was just like, well, maybe I've just been eating too much.
I mean, I understand. I'm 223 pounds myself, which is less than I was a couple of years ago, back when in the height of my depression. Like, I was pushing 260 at one point. I get it.
I'm even a little bit more than that. I really gotta slim down. I'll tell you. It's funny. It's really funny, because like, I'm kind of a I'm kind of a health nut at times. Like,
I have
but
my own
because
garden, bro. I get it.
because for like fucking like 5 years, like, I did nothing but like look up like every tiny minute detail on like how to do how to like lose weight and shit, and like how the proper way. Because what I did is I would watch like bodybuilding channels and stuff like that, because I figured, who would know better than a bodybuilder
I
on
get you.
nutrition, right? So I'd watch all these stuff, and I always wanted to become a bodybuilder at some point. But like, first things first, I gotta lose the weight. There's a joke somewhere. I think someone said, it's like, I'm not overweight. I've just been in a bulk for a very long time.
I think that was a comic that was actually going around Twitter pretty recently.
Yeah. That was
It's
that
like
was I.
fucking Flork, I think.
Yeah, Flork. I love Flork. He's
Yeah,
great.
he's great. Like, he's even in one of the Facebook friggin' Warhammer shitposting groups. He's a fucking
Yeah,
riot.
yeah, he's funny. I wish I could come up with as many ideas as he has for all his, like, I it doesn't matter that his drawings are simple. He still comes up with great ideas. Cuz like, that's
Incredibly.
one thing. Back when I first started on Twitter, all the memes that I posted, every single one of them was something that I made. But the problem is that I just, well, when I first started, I had like, I wasn't working very much. So like, I had all day to think of shit. Now, like, I try to only get on Twitter when I'm at work.
That good of a
So,
job, huh?
yeah, well, that's the thing. My job is not very labor intensive. Like, well, I have to pick stuff up and move it, but like, it's slow. Like, it's just slow, and they don't really mind too bad if I get on my phone from time to time, because all my work gets done regardless. So, but because of that, I mean, I don't always think of something every day, so I'll just post something I found from like iFunny or whatever in between the memes that I make here and there. Because I mean, trying to come up with a new meme every single day, and I'm sure someone more creative than me could do it, but I eventually get a little creatively bankrupt at times.
It
I feel like
happens. Like, some people made a
I
career
feel
out of it.
Yeah, I feel like one of those writers who's like, he's having a writer's block or whatever, even though it's just stupid meme.
It happens. Like,
Yeah.
as long as there's been creativity, there's also been the cessation of creativity.
Yeah. But to answer, to go back to your original question, I would say pretty fast for the most part, just because like, it really does feel like it's just, I have a million things that I want to do, like just a million, and I genuinely do not think that I could finish them all within my lifespan. And that's one reason why I really I want to get in better shape, because I want to live as long as possible, and I hope that maybe at some point they can figure out a way to extend lifespans, because I'll tell you, I need multiple to be able to do half the shit I want to do.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I know. If I lived 100 lifetimes, I feel like I'd never run out of stuff to do. People are always like, "Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I have nothing to do." I always have something to do. There's never a point in my life where I've had nothing to do. There is like I just like life. I very much enjoy my life, and I would never want it to stop.
I
And
understand.
I'm very positive in that one regard.
At
I'm a,
what,
v-
like,
I,
what?
so
Sorry, you first.
I was just going to joke that some people say that I'm very negative, but I'm very positive on that one thing. Just
Wh-
want to keep living.
When
But continue.
I first joined Twitter, back when I kind of first met you guys through Bathan, I was actually kind of in that complete opposite place. Like, I was in a major fucking depressive rut. Like, I'd been still in mourning way longer than I should have been, but then, like, at the same time, when really is the best time to stop mourning? Like, because, like, in 2020, like, I lost someone very, very close to me who'd been there all my life. And it fucked me up majorly. Because, like, there was that, then I was basically thrown into the deep end. It's like, alright, look, you've been kind of just hiding behind your computer, kind of doing nothing sometimes, or just interacting with folks. You gotta actually get up. You gotta man the fuck up. And it's like, between that and at points there were people really lashing out in their grief for that same person towards me, and like I know it fucked me up. Like I was in a major depressive spell. There were times when I hold on, sorry. There were times when I thought about ending it. Like I didn't, but I I was not in a good fucking place. It was probably pretty obvious. Like I mean, you probably saw some of the shit fits I got into. Like even
I,
now,
I
I'm not in the best place.
I wish I could say that I saw everything, but Twitter is so big. I
I
don't always see
understand.
everything.
Like, I gotta really
But
kind of prune down my following list a lot.
yeah, I probably should too. I have like all the posts, almost all the posts I see are not from my followers,
Like,
which is weird.
one way to
Like,
fix that, though, is like when it's like there is an option you can turn off people's retweets. Like, if you go onto the profile, there's a thing that says turn off retweets, and that does clear up the feed quite a bit.
I probably should try that. But again, that not again, but that sucks that you're still kind of in that state. I've been there. You know, hell, I mean, I was technically, I mean, hell, even in my bio, I've been an emo boy pretty much most of my life. You know, like I've been in the shit. You know.
It happens.
You know, like I feel like I keep going from tragedy to tragedy in my life, but at the same time, as much as I felt like giving up so many times, I feel like I think I just have too much to do.
Yeah, too much
I think
unfinished business.
yeah, that's the thing, is that like as many times as like I've come to like I feel like the end of my rope, so to speak, whenever I've hit like rock bottom, which I've hit many a times. I know that I'm only 30, but I feel like I've hit rock bottom like multiple times in my lifetime. And every single time I come back. I come back from it. And that's why I usually tell people, cuz I've met quite a few suicidal people on Twitter. More than I should, I feel like.
Yeah, Twitter
And
really seems to attract that shit.
it really does. Like, there's quite a few people, and I try to tell everybody that I can, you know, like it's, you know, you might not be able to see the horizon right now.
But it
You know,
does
you
get
might
better.
be,
You just kind of gotta get out of your own head. Like, I had to get out of my own head just so that way I could start, like, seeing in color again, so to speak.
yeah. And here's the thing, you know, sometimes it can take a while, you know, but here's the thing, you never know things can get better
Until they do.
unless you're around. Yeah, unless you're around to see it. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. You know, there was times where like it literally looked like there was no way out, like at all. Like for me, like I genuinely thought that like there was like I had nothing left. And then like a couple months later, like the whole thing flipped around on me, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I did not, I did not see this. Like I got really lucky, I guess you could say. And then it's just like things like that can happen. Like, and it's not just me. Like I've heard other people where like their life just kind of flipped around at some point. Uh, it can happen. It's not as
It's not as
it's not as
uncommon as it
crazy.
seems.
Yeah, exactly. Like one little thing can totally like. I think there was an episode. Have you ever seen uh Smiling Friends?
I have not.
It
I've heard it's pretty good, but I have not.
it's pretty good. Okay, so there's this episode. It's a great episode. The very first episode they have. Okay, and there's this guy and the whole job of them is to like make people like happy or whatever. And there's this dude who just he literally walks around with a gun pointed at his face at all times.
Amazing.
That's how depressed he is. So, but here's the thing, okay? And okay, this may be a bad example, but at the end of the near the end of the episode, he there's these dudes who are like attacking their office, and then like he instead of he pulls out the gun and starts like shooting the little things, these little infestation creatures or whatever.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Wait, I really like doing this." And then he starts a business of like extermination of these creature things. So like, and then he's like all happy and like he's like all like he just found new purpose in life, and then like that little thing,
Yeah,
like
that little
just
thing
like
just compounds and builds, and then eventually you're doing, like, you're thriving. You've got so much
yeah,
to live for, you've got a purpose, and sometimes, like, a person's purpose in life is to help other people find purpose in life.
right. And it's like as funny as the episode is, like it's totally true. Like stuff like that can totally happen, and you don't think about it. And I think the show's actually pretty good about this. Is that it? The guy makes a lot of good points as to why he should commit suicide, but then in the end, it's like it it he couldn't see past that until like he found his purpose. And then once he found that, he was like, "Oh shit, I don't want to die now cuz like I got this thing, you know." And I feel even in like a comedy show like that, they did it really well. I really like that. You got to watch it at some point. It's not even
Yeah,
long.
definitely.
It's like 6 episodes or some shit. Like give it a try sometime.
Is that the clip where the is that the show where the meme, like, the simplest way to refute a moral nihilist argument is to kill him? Is that where that
Yeah,
meme came from?
that's where the meme comes from.
I gotta watch that shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good show. I think they're gonna make a second, or did they already make a second season? I don't remember.
If I recall
I
right, there
think
was some news around it, but I don't recall if it was positive or negative.
I think they're making a new season. I cannot remember for the life of me. I think they're making a new one, but they just haven't made it yet.
All right.
I don't think it's out. But yeah, you can watch the first season because it's not even long. It's like I want to say it's only like 7 episodes or something. It might be longer, it might be shorter. I genuinely don't remember, but definitely give it a watch. Smiling Friends.
I suppose talking about shows like Smiling Friends, are there any other shows that kind of do that well in your opinion?
Um, like give people like hope.
Yeah, like give people hope and, actually deliver messages in a, like, tasteful sort of way that doesn't mock the people while pretending to deliver a positive message.
I'm trying to think because like there's really not off the top of my head. There's not a lot of those. I want to say when I think of whenever I think of like a positive message, I think probably two that come to mind right off the bat are older movies, which would be like what was it called? I'm having a brain block.
It happens.
It's a Wonderful Life.
That's a
I
good
feel like
one.
that's obviously, yeah, like everybody knows that one. And 12 Angry Men. That one
I've
was, I think,
that movie was fucking top tier.
Yeah, that was really good. I feel like if like what's
Oh,
don't well
you cut off.
still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. You would just cut off though entirely.
Oh, okay. But one thing I liked about the movie is they didn't even say at the end of the movie if the kid was actually like innocent or not. They just like they kind of left it open, which even I feel like is better.
It
But
really is. Like, too
it's
many movies are just like, yeah, okay, let's just. Yeah, no, kid was definitely innocent. Yeah, no, he was guilty as hell. But leaving it open like that is, I think, the better way. Like, it leaves it to the audience's interpretation as opposed to being like, yeah, no, this is what happened. Fuck you. Here's, thanks for the money.
yeah, I think someone who emphasized this point really well, and I know he's such a meme, I feel like these days, but Nostalgia Critic brought up this one. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
I used to
Uh,
binge watch him back during the height of COVID. Really annoyed the hell out of the person I was living with at the time.
I still watch him. He's great. I've been watching him for years. But the in his Lorax review, he went over this one point with one of the newer Loraxes was that in the old books they really had this like open ended thing with the unless thing or whatever, and it was left like really open ended, like, oh, like what's gonna happen, like only you can figure that out or whatever, and then but like in the new one it's just like kind of like flat out being like, well, listen pal, you gotta fucking do something or some shit. I forget exactly how it went, but basically new one very straightforward and the old one was more vague and like open ended, and I like the open endedness of that, like,
Yeah, open
and
ended's the
and
way
this
to go. Too many things just are just heavy handed, ham fisted attempts at trying to convey a message that in the end just seems more like they're just trying way too hard.
yeah, that, and like sometimes you can deliver a message and it's fine, but I do think especially in more recent times, I'm sure there's probably old examples and maybe I'm just not old enough to know of them, but uh I feel like more and more there's more stuff that's like trying to like preach at you kind
Oh,
of in
it's
a way.
we are in a way more preachy era. Like every now and again, I will go back and watch movies from like the 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s, and shit was nowhere near as preachy unless you went into Christian films, and even those weren't as preachy as some of the shit. Like, I mean, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
it's oh yeah, you do this, you're going to hell. Here's hell. It's like, okay, yeah, fair enough, but it's nowhere near as preachy.
yeah, that's the thing, and what's funny is that like most of this preachy stuff isn't coming even from religious people. It's coming from like just moralists,
Yeah,
basically. Like,
and like that's like I really have an issue with this like majorly hypocritical moralist culture because it's just
mhm.
so fucking hypocritical. Like that, and then this new what I can only consider a new Puritan movement. It's like you people
well,
are
what
some of the biggest fucking hypocrites, you know?
that's the tragedy of it all. Back in the day, back when like say like the 40s or whatever, or maybe earlier than that. You had a lot of the churches. They were pretty hard on people. Very very judgy, very do this or else kind of thinking. And I think that basically a lot of the people who weren't religious, they broke off from that a little bit, and the America became less and less, kind of religious or whatever. But at the same time, they adopted non-religious religion in a way.
Yeah,
It's
it's
weird.
like a
It's
new like almost a secular type deal.
Yeah, it was kind of like they took some of the negative traits of the old church and then they just started like pushing that but without religion behind them, so now like they didn't have anything to base it off of except for, well, this bothers me, so listen.
Yeah, it's moral absolutism at its worst.
Yeah. And
Gosh, we
I'm
really
I'm
went
just
fucking off topic, huh?
Yeah, we really have. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm
Not trying to
perfectly
be.
fine continuing this conversation, bro. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a chatterbox. I'm bad.
Hey, I actually appreciate it, man. It's nice having like someone to actually talk about this shit with.
You know, it's funny. Anyone who's listening on the podcast, me and Tater here, this is the first time we're actually in a voice chat. I've never talked to this man outside of this voice. Like I've messaged him and we've talked here and there, but like I've never actually been in a voice chat with this man.
Yeah, like this is our first time like actually talking. Like hell, even like in the private messages or even like in the public tweets, like it was like what, one or two like short
Yeah,
bursts here and there, and then nothing.
I wasn't expecting much. I was gonna come on here and talk here for a minute just because But I'm glad I've talked. I guess as long as I have, that's good.
Hey, I'm enjoying it.
That's good. It's good. I've enjoyed myself so far.
So out of
The
curiosity, um, sorry, what were we gonna say? I'll let you go first. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. I was about to say, technically, since this is our first time talking together, that probably is why I'm talking as much as I have, because I have so many fresh things we haven't talked about, I suppose. But still, either way, continue.
So out of curiosity, let's get on to I guess like the main thing we were going to talk about. Oh, hold on.
Yo,
Hey, Kamoku, how you doing?
what's up?
Not much. Just kind of talking with King Ice here, but I guess I'll bring you into this subject too. Out of curiosity,
Alright.
what are some games both of you enjoy that everyone else just seems to flat out hate?
Hmm. Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people hated Cyberpunk when it first came out.
I loved
like
that
that.
game, like when it came
I,
out.
See,
that
I
that's
have
the
yet
thing.
to finish my playthrough of it, but I'm loving it so far.
I played it
Yeah,
on
That's just because
Stadia.
it took me a while to get it.
here's the thing, like about a lot of the game, like because you mentioned this to me the other day, and I was writing down some games that I thought. But here's the thing, like people are so split on so many things these days. I feel like it's hard to really even gauge what public opinion is sometimes. Like for me, like what was it? I thought everybody hated uh what was it? Dragon Commander back when I was a kid when I played that. But then like I talked about it with some other people and they're like, "Oh no, we love Dragon Commander." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can only go off of like what I hear on Twitter, like what I think people like just hate. Cuz like I'll hear people talk about like a couple games that I've liked, like let's see, like Death Stranding. I hear people shit on that game all the time, but I loved it. I love that game. That was great.
I still
Dark
gotta
Souls 2.
install
I
that.
didn't play Death Stranding, so I can't really speak. Like I usually tend not to try and speak on stuff I haven't even touched yet.
Oh, it's fine. It's like
So
it's basically. I mean, I won't lie. It's kind of like a walking simulator, but it's like it appeals to my autism. I guess I don't know. Like you get enough new stuff throughout the game that like it just keeps it interesting. At least for me, anyway. Like for example, like first you start out the game and you can just like it's just basic walking. Okay, but then
yeah,
like you get like an exoskeleton so that you can like carry more shit, and then eventually you get like bikes and cars, and eventually you can like zip line places all over the map. I don't know. They give you enough technology to keep you interested. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's that. But go ahead.
One game that I played recently that it seems like everyone hates, and for good reason, is The Walking Dead Destinies. Now, I know it kind of seems like a meme, but like, honestly, I thought it wasn't bad. I mean, granted, it's very much a 2013 or 14 game in a 2023 world, but it could be way worse. Like, they've actually polished a lot. Like, they're still even releasing hotfixes. They didn't just abandon it like they could have.
When did this come out?
November? Like, everyone was shitting on it from G-Man Lives to some of the other folks. Like,
I'm trying.
that game that kind of looks like a shitty mobile game has Rick Grimes on the cover and Shane, some what if scenarios and whatnot.
right.
Is it a shitty mobile game?
It might as well be, but like for as far as shitty mobile games slash late Xbox 360 era games go, it's not bad. Now, granted, as a modern like release in 2023 when it came out, it was a fucking awful game, but I love it because like for what they did it a lot better than they could have. Especially considering these are the same guys who made Kong Skull Island.
Oh, they made that?
Yeah, they made that. This one's way better. I mean, that's a low bar, but still.
I'm trying to go back on Cyberpunk really quick. Back when I got it when it first came out, okay, and I had it on console too, right? And the thing is that as many glitches as it had, because it had a lot of glitches, like the frame rate was bad, the glitches were there, but the thing is that behind all that, I still saw like the level up system, I still saw the story, I still saw what they were trying to do, and I was enjoying myself, right? Like I was thinking to myself the whole time, like, yeah, sure, this has got a lot of problems, but like I was having fun. Like I was like, this is a good game. I was like, yeah, sure, it's like unpolished as shit, but like it's fun, right? And it wasn't until more recently, I feel like after Edge Runners, when Edge Runners came out, that show about cyberpunk or whatever,
Yeah.
that drew in a lot of more people, and then they gave it a second chance, and then when they gave it a second chance, they had already patched some things, and then it was like a lot better at that point. And then people were like, oh, well, it's good now. It's like, no, it was good before. It's just you couldn't see past like the glitches and stuff.
I remember at one point, speaking of glitches with Cyberpunk, and this was on Stadia, so grain of salted, but one of the major bugs was like after a while, you could not throw grenades, reload, or shoot, or melee at one point because your arms would get all disjointed. Like even you could see it on the model, like they were all sorts of fucked up.
Like yeah, I saw some crazy glitches here and there. I feel like I got lucky because like the glitches I had were very minimal, and maybe that's why I liked it when I did, because when I played, the only thing that really was texture pop in was really bad. Frame rate dips was a bit of a thing, and but that was really about it. Like outside of that, like I didn't have anything crazy happen. I think once or twice maybe like an NPC like fell into the ground or whatever. But like I've played indie games on Steam. I've seen this kind of shit. Like I'm not completely, cuz like sometimes I swear like people who talk shit about like uh they'll talk about like AAA games and say like they're the worst thing ever, when like have you ever played like a bad indie game on Steam? Because those things are almost like broken like like you haven't played like an actually bad game.
I once, back when I was really into streaming a couple years ago, I was gifted, well, I say gifted, but I was sent a review copy of this horror game called, Ghost Hunt or something like that. And it was really bad and really broken. Like, it was a fucking mess. And the worst part is, it was clearly made to be streamer bait, too. They had, the picture was this weird Wendigo almost looking skinwalker type thing, which, okay, whatever. But then you couldn't even move half 3/4 of the places. You couldn't really interact with shit properly. It was a broken fucking mess to the point when I actually, titled my stream as well as, uploaded the VOD later on. I literally called it, my username plays streamer bait, because it clearly was. This is something even Markiplier didn't play. It was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even need to play. I've seen a couple real bad stingers over the years. I think it was a couple that come to mind are Mind, Ride to Hell Retribution. What was that other one? Infernal. Oh yeah, those ones were all bad. Infernal was so bad no one even heard about it.
That game sounds familiar, and I don't know why it sounds so familiar. Yeah.
It was in a lot of discount Xbox 360 boxes.
I mean, fair enough. I used to dive through the bargain bin because when I was a kid, that was all I could afford.
So one of the problems I had with that game was that the whole game did not have any form of autosave at all.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize that until I was about halfway into the game, turned off the console, and had to restart the whole game. But that's not why I disliked it. Well, I mean, there was one of the reasons I disliked it, but it was just like the most stiff, bad third-person shooting, like no, barely any abilities. Like the story was like literally everything about the game was bad. There was nothing redeemable about it. Like, oh, I wish I could say like there was like, oh, well, maybe the gameplay felt kind of good. No, it didn't. The story was kind of good. No, the story wasn't good. Like the mechanics, no, no good mechanic. Like there was nothing. It had no redeemable qualities.
Kind of sounds like Diablo 4. Like when you say all those
Okay.
downsides and
Okay, I'm okay. So you said about games that people let shit on. Kind of like I'll be the antagonist right now and say that I actually kind of like Diablo 4.
fair enough.
But
Like I gotta give it another shake again because like last time I played it was during the beta. Like I've played
okay,
every Diablo game now, but I need to really like get my hands on that game again.
okay, but I will preface this with something, okay? Diablo 4 is good until uh, until you beat Lilith. Okay?
Okay.
After Lilith, the game gets bad. Okay? But because here's the thing, okay, the game has a decent. I liked the story. I liked the story leading up to it, and maybe it wasn't the best story in the world, but I liked it. It was enough. It got me going to where I need to go. But the story was fine. But once that concludes, the leveling up process is just becomes such a slog, like a really big slog.
Like worse than
Because like
seasonal towers on Torment X and Diablo 3 or worse?
I haven't done those, so
They
probably.
fucking suck. I had to be carried. It was rough.
Well, the thing is that like I don't feel like any motivation to do it because like for one thing, there's no outside of Uber Lilith, which is just a reskin of Lilith, which is like at the very end, I think, of the Diablo 4 thing. I don't know what they've done in the recent seasons or whatever, but the thing is that like after you beat Lilith, and before you were getting levels like pretty frequently, like throughout the dungeons and stuff, like you might get a level every couple dungeons, maybe like every 2-3 dungeons, something like that. Maybe sometimes you'd get one during a dungeon. But then all of a sudden, even on like higher tiers, your EXP gains were like really slowed down, And even when you did like a nightmare or any of the kind of thing, like it was too slow. It was too slow, and there was no motivation to continue because you were just trickling in those upgrades. Because for me, like a lot of the fun comes in with like building my character, making my build and
Yeah, that's
everything.
the fun in all these kinds of RPGs. Like, if you're not having fun, like making your build, leveling up, and exploring, what's the point of playing the game?
Right. And I felt like I had gotten like after Lilith, it felt like I was trying to squeeze the fun out of a very squeezed out toothpaste in terms of like between the levels. Like because it just got so slow. And I was playing with a friend at the time, like and it's still like it just the leveling just slowed down so much. And I completely understand why a lot of people were like oh well the game's bad because they're including that after Lilith thing. But to me, like the game is like till you hit Lilith. That was the game for me. And if that's the game, then it was good. But everything after that just sucks because it's a painful slog that I don't want to play.
I get that, dude.
Jeez, that sounds miserable.
Like,
It
there's a
was. It
reason
really
that
was.
meme is going around still. Diablo 4, more like Diablo Snore.
It was. It was. Like after Lilith, it is like the biggest like there's and here's the thing, like the gear, like you barely get gear either. Like after Lilith, like the amounts of like good gear drops after Lilith is just not not good. Like it's way too far between each other and just everything. Like it's like someone had told everyone like, okay, after Lilith, we're just gonna like try to like extend everything like super, super, super far apart.
So just
Get those
ridiculously
fuckers.
stretched thin then?
Well, kind of like every little thing just took forever after Lilith. Like it was like an early MMO where like they were just trying to get you to do shit just to like waste your time so that like you're gonna end up playing next month or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
they
speaking
just
of
want to.
early MMOs, have you heard of the masterpiece known as Ultima Online?
The
I've
fuck?
I've heard of it. I feel like I swear I've heard someone meme on this, but I genuinely don't remember
One of the
what it was.
like friend groups I'm in, like there's this dude in that group from California, which I know state ugh, but like the dude's really
I'm from there.
Fair enough, fair enough. Like this dude like is always like, hell yeah, have you heard of the amazing game that's Ultima Online? And like one of the friends in that group's a streamer, and like he even like went out of his way to green screen like a little wizard setup. Like, have you heard of the amazing masterpiece that is Ultima Online? And like, dude's wearing a fucking like empty box of Miller as a hat, like dressed up as a wizard in robes, and like it ended with all these virus warnings. Like, it was the funniest shit.
sounds like a Raid Shadow Legends ad campaign.
I'm googling it right now. This shit looks old.
Yeah, it's like from the '90s, but that shit's still running.
Oh my
Nice.
lord! Wow, yeah, this is old as shit. Looks like.
Jeez,
Woo.
that
Oh.
reminds me of the what was it? Have you guys ever watched Seth Zine talk?
Who?
Seth Zine?
His name is Seth, but it's he covers a lot of older video games. So like, oh, was it like Heroes of Might and Magic style like games from
nice.
way back in the day?
Mhm.
One of the games that he did coverage on though was a game called Space Station 13. It was old as fuck.
You know, it's funny you
Like-
bring that game up. Like one of the YouTubers I watched was just playing that, like in an exploring old games, that type deal.
Yeah. Apparently, they managed to bring out an updated version so that it plays normal with like a more support and everything. So it's
nice.
gone from Space Station 13 to Space Station 14.
Nice.
That's cool. What do you do in it?
You basically you are part of a crew on a space station that is trying to not fucking die from the black hole that's right next to them.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, but it's like all kinds of shenanigans can happen. Like one of the stories that Seth covered is the fact that the what was it? The rebellion of the cargo hold, and anyone that so much as tried to step in and force the dudes in the cargo hold to start doing their job would like walk in, immediately get slip on like an engine lubricant and just get shotgunned out the airlock.
Just oops.
Yep.
What?
Yep, the entire security team. If someone managed to figure it out, cool. That was the first line of defense. The second line of defense was a ring of conveyor belts where you just got pelted to death by sodas.
Nice. That sounds fun.
It's just-
I'll
yeah.
have to. What was that called again?
Space Station 13 here. Actually, let me
Space-
look up the let me look up the exact video so you can watch it.
Put
There
it
was
in
one
the-
game.
Just
there was
throw it in
one-
like general or whatever, and I'll
Yeah,
try it out
yeah.
later.
Yeah, there was one specific game that I'm trying to remember. It wasn't around for long though. It was like released probably back in like 2016 or 2017. And it was supposed to be like a Overwatch type of game, but it was more objective oriented instead of being a COD game.
Wait. I think I might know what you're talking. I bought that game.
Gravity something or something.
Oh
like
no.
that.
I was thinking of what was it called?
can't-
Battleborn something?
It might have been Battleborn actually. I don't remember the name of the.
There was a game. It
of the
came out.
game.
It came out almost the exact same day as Overwatch, but like like Overwatch got really popular and it just died out. Like I don't know why.
I just remember the trailer was basically all these dudes are fighting over this little teeny tiny robot that's just fucking falling. And
Nice.
you had like everybody had their own cover to this song that's playing in the background. I think it was Spirit in the Sky or something like that.
Good
Oh,
song.
I think I might have seen that. I feel like that's vaguely familiar. What
Yeah.
you just described.
Yeah, and then of course the dude with the black mask in the RPG, he has an opera cover to his. It's just like, what the fuck?
Oh, nice.
Spirit in the Sky
And-
as an opera. I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that cover was actually pretty cool.
Oh, nice. I'm trying to remember. In terms of like old games, I think I haven't played a ton, but I like the first 2 Fallout games. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Those are
sorry, you first.
because they're those old isometric kind of style games. I like those. Like I'm
Fallout
actually playing
1, Fallout Tactics.
I didn't play Fallout Tactics.
It's really fun.
Really?
Yeah, it's an RTS, but still.
Because
I mean, the first three were all RTSs, weren't they?
Technically, they
Yeah.
were more turn-based, closer to Baldur's Gate than Command and Conquer.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of like I'm not a big RTS fan. I like turn-based because like I feel like every time I try an RTS, like I feel like I don't have enough time to do what I'm trying to do.
Like it's
Like-
more like mission-based. Like like it's more like on rails almost, while trying to be almost like RTS-ish. But there is an actual
Right.
end game to it.
Because like I'm trying to think. Okay, did you guys ever play Pillars of Eternity?
Yes, I love that game.
I
think
like
I
it
might have
too.
missed that one.
I like okay, so I like both of them. I like Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. But I will say this, okay? So I played Pillars of Eternity 1 and it was an RTS, but then I played Pillars of Eternity 2 and they added an option for turn-based mode. And it felt and maybe others disagree, but I love that turn-based mode like way more. Like I felt like I could actually get off all my attacks right. Like,
Nice.
because the thing with RTS is that like it's so hectic to me. Because like there's all these people have like all these different abilities and like you have to pause like every 2 seconds to like switch between it's like I'm sure like anybody who's good at them would just tell me like, oh, we'll just get good. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. That's perfectly fair enough. But like, I just like I'm dumb and I like to have like my time to think about every single move. So I like my turn-based shit. Plus, I feel like I don't play that many turn-based games. So
Right.
so when I do get these isometric games, I'm like, you know what? These I like having my turns because I mean, like 90% of games are not turn based. Like only like old style, like a lot of old style games do it. Because I don't really play Pokemon, and I feel like that's the big one everybody always talks about, like turn based stuff.
I mean,
But,
it's
Right.
baby's first turn-based. Like, if you've played that, you can
Yeah.
almost like get a decent enough grasp for other turn-based. But, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's like the basic turn base.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. But yeah, I liked because I played the first Fallout and it was fun. That one and the second one. Second one was really good. I don't feel like I've played a lot of old games outside of like maybe I played the first Mario and I'm trying to think. I played a lot of games on the Super Nintendo, but I don't know if I'd call
Right.
that super old.
I mean, if you're looking for recommendations, like in the similar vein to Fallout 1 and 2, Planescape Torment is pretty good, as are Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and they also have enhanced editions, which is pretty good.
I have them in my Steam library. I just have not really played them. I need to at some point.
They are fun, but holy shit, are they unforgiving. They're built on Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2.0. Or not
boy.
2.0, second edition, sorry, I mean. Like, I just probably triggered so many fucking D&D fans, like, that's not how you fucking say it! Ah!
Jeez. It's just have everybody coming out the woodwork. What the hell was that?
Pardon, what was that? But it's funny. I'm playing one of those style games actually right now. Well, not as we're talking, but before I jumped in here, I was playing Rogue Trader 40K. That's been fun so far.
Nice.
Is it better
It's
than Baldur's Gate 3 like people say, or is it just kind of them saying?
no.
Thank you. Like I was watching
No,
people like
there's
say
no
that, and it was
way.
like, no fucking way. Like you're really gonna tell me,
No.
like, yeah, exactly.
There are a lot that like okay, look, I like 40K, okay, and I like isometric games, but it is not better than Baldur's Gate 3. It's good. It's definitely good. But they're just blowing it out of proportion if they're saying it's better than freaking Baldur's Gate 3. No.
Like I literally
But
saw like 8 posts in a row. Like, yeah, man, this game is so much better than BG3.
No. There's so much work went into Baldur's Gate 3, man. Like every single time you talk to your companions, like it's of like a full cutscene quality, like every single time. That is not here, okay? Like this is like it's good. It's good. Like it's definitely good. But to compare it's just not really that kind of comparison. Like it's good. It's just not as good, but it's still worth a playthrough. Like if you're thinking like, oh, should I play Rogue Trader? Yes, you should definitely play Rogue Trader. It's fun. Just don't go in there expecting like, oh man, Baldur's Gate was good. This is gonna be even better. No, don't go in thinking that you will
Don't
be
do that now.
disappointed. Yeah, that will disappoint you.
All right, so
And
I found the game. I found the game that that I was talking about. So this is one of the games that I personally liked a lot. But a lot of people hated it for some fucking reason. I just kept running into people that absolutely hated this game. It was called Lawbreakers.
That seems
Lawbreakers.
very familiar for some
Yeah.
reason. Like
I remember the name. One second. Put up some screenshots here.
A buddy of mine, went ahead and he talks to me about it while we're working on a construction project. And he's telling me, yeah, I don't understand what it is about people that just played this game and they couldn't acclimate to the fact that it's very objective heavy. It's not at all about getting the highest KD ratio. If you can't push the objective, your efforts are just going to be in vain.
I blame Call of Duty and as well as like just Battlefield post like or even like kind of late Xbox 360 era for that, because like there were so many good first-person shooters, but Call of Duty and Battlefield drowned them out. Like hell, they even like fucking butchered Medal of Honor for this shit.
Yeah, Medal of Honor got butchered. What was it?
When was the last?
What, the last
yeah,
Medal of Honor?
Yeah, when was the
like the last one was that VR game that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say
but like before that, it was like 2000. I'd like to say 12 or 13, and it was Warfighter.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I have not seen a Medal of Honor game in a while.
Warfighter. Hold on a second. Let me look because I got my PS3 stack over here.
What was the game you just mentioned before?
Lawbreakers.
No, there was one more. I forgot what it was. What was the other one?
You said Battleborn?
No.
Space Station 13?
No. I'm trying to remember. Well, maybe something I had in my mind. What was it? You're mentioning multiplayer games.
Yeah. So there is one game that apart from Lawbreakers, another game that just for whatever reason I kept finding people that absolutely hated the game. It was the Metro 2033.
Oh, people dislike that?
Yeah, I found I don't know what it is, but I seem to always find the people that just dislike whatever games I'm playing.
Yeah,
and it was like it's too complicated, or what was it? There's not enough guidance. The game doesn't hold your hand. I'm like, bullshit, it doesn't.
I like Metro 2033. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say like it's top tier or anything, but like it's definitely. I liked it. Like I liked all three of the Metro. I still haven't finished I think it's the third one. Metro Exodus. I haven't finished Exodus. I keep getting like halfway through and then like something else comes up and then.
No, I take that back. I got to maybe the third to last section, the third to last part of the game, and then there's the final stretch of the game.
I always get. I think it's like halfway in. Like every time I've played twice, and I got
Did
to
you
the
get to the
halfway
desert?
point. No, or at least I don't think so. Wait, maybe I thought I was halfway through. I was past. I
Did you make
think
it
I was
past
in.
the bunker?
Yes.
Yeah, the bunker full of cannibals. That shit was creepy.
Yeah, that was indeed creepy. I'm sure. I'm trying to think of other. Oh, okay. I thought of a game that everybody shits on that I kind of like. Okay, but I gotta preface this one though. Okay. Uh, okay. So Starfield. All right.
Okay.
Now, let me
Really?
start. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. Hear me out. Okay. There, Starfield to me was probably the most disappointing uh game that I had played in terms of Bethesda games because I didn't play 76.
Now, it's,
Oh,
Um,
you
I
know, you
loved
didn't miss out on
76
much.
compared to that, bro.
You did not. I'm sorry, but
Here's the thing. Okay. So that being said, okay, I did not hate it, but it was still my most disappointed game that I had played by them. But here's the thing, like there's nothing about it, like on paper, that I feel like is necessarily like egregious per se. But the
right.
problem is that like I enjoyed playing it, and I want to say that like it's not a bad game, but at the same time like there's a lot of things that make it boring to me.
Yeah.
Like, but I put a lot of hours in it. Like I did. Like I put like 120 hours in this game. Like it did something ish to hold my attention for a little while, but like this again, like I feel like I really can't defend it a ton because like it's it's good, but like it's not like it's like okay. I want to preface this by saying that I'm a bit of a Bethesda fanboy,
Hey,
and
same.
Alright.
I want them to do good. I genuinely do, but like it's even for me, that one was like a little hard because I got one of my friends. He's also like a bit of a Bethesda fanboy,
Right.
and like I mean like he kind of has the same opinion of me. Is that like it's not a bad game, but man, they took it not in a great direction.
It was
Well, another
easily the most 5 out of 10 game this year.
yeah, pretty much. I think one of the problems they had with it was you have a giant infinite universe. You have no other species like in terms of like race like different aliens outside of just like just creatures.
Which are copy and
Like
pasted.
yeah, copy and paste. And then like you reveal at the end of the game, you reveal pretty much the major only secret in your entire universe. So it's like, oh, you kind of killed a sequel almost at that point because there's not you've pretty much showed us everything in in this universe like
Yeah,
already
and hell, the
plot.
one cool plot point with the technically whole different evolution of humanity above Paradiso, like
Mhm.
that was cool, and then they did
Mhm.
fucking
Right.
nothing with it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they I I like the idea of a Bethesda space game, but this was not what I had in mind. Like this was just there was not and okay, like all your companions, like there's no it's all very one note in terms of like all of them because they're all when I say one note, what I mean is that there's no like variations on like they're all explorers. They're none of them are evil per se. Like
I
there's
mean,
no
technically, New
bad
Game
guys.
Plus with Andrea, technically.
Okay, Andrea, fair enough. But even like but that's New Game Plus. Okay, like I don't want to have to go through like all the New Game Pluses just to get to. You shouldn't have to.
Understandable. Yeah.
But you get my drift. Like okay,
Like, speaking of New Game Plus, I still can't believe that you can, like, the way they fucking did that shit. Like, first New Game Plus and all the ones after that, you can just blitz through by saying, hey, here's where I found the artifacts last time. Point
Whoa.
them to me, bro. And it's literally, like,
yes.
you can do that and then boom, New Game Plus again. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Well, that's the thing, and they were talking about how like cool of a system that is, and I'm like, not really. I mean, like, it felt too much like okay, the whole game, or at least a good chunk of the game, felt kind of like it felt very Skyrim-y, like in the way that like you were looking for the shouts. But the problem is that they didn't. I felt like that was most like a good chunk of it, like way too much of it, and the powers, most of them, like a good chunk of like there was two powers that like I really liked, and then like there's a lot of bummers. Like there's just a lot of like, I mean, I guess I didn't hate the powers, but like I don't know, they could have done a little bit better. But here's the thing: half the time you don't want to use the powers because all the powers, when you kill someone with one of the powers, it doesn't go towards your progress towards leveling up like your different types of weapons, right?
Which is
all right.
yeah.
Right. So you don't want to use your powers because you need to get them upgrades for all your different types of weapons because to level up the weapons, you need to use them. So I kept finding myself in situations where I never wanted to use the powers outside of there was
That's
one
very
called
counterproductive.
yeah, exactly, right? It goes against each other. And then like I felt like I couldn't even tell the differences really between the different factions. Like in Fallout or in Skyrim or whatever, right? Like all the factions, like I understand that they have a long standing lore, okay, so they're all recognizable, but even like new factions that they introduced in say like Fallout 4, which was probably one of the weaker ones, at least story wise. But even in 4, I mean, like all the factions are recognizable. They're all very identifiable.
Yeah,
But
very
like,
distinct.
tell me, like, ask a random person who played Starfield what their favorite faction was. Like, probably off the top of their head, they'd be like, they'd take a minute, right? Like they'd think like, what were the factions again? I don't even really remember very well. You know, like, and that's what happens in my
I
brain
just
because like,
I just know you had blue, red, and yellow.
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, it's like there's
this,
cowboy faction, there's military jackoffs, there's main faction, and then there's cool space pirates that are pretty forgettable too.
the thing that I think the one that stood out the most to me was the people who worship like the snake guy.
Oh yeah,
Eh,
the Varun faction. Yeah, those were
The
cool.
Varun. Yeah, those were cool. Okay, those I kind of like. But here's the thing: they were nowhere to be found half the time.
I know.
Like,
I'm
Yo,
hoping they'll
how,
expand
they,
on
house,
that at some point because
the
yeah.
House
yeah,
of Slytherin went to space. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that like they were the most interesting faction, and they like didn't like they weren't around. Like that's the thing. Like I think maybe half of the reason why I liked them so much was because I couldn't find them.
Actually,
Like,
like
there
if
was
you
no
do actually get a quest, like if you take if you do with UC,
you
like
get
their quest line, you can actually talk to the Varun ambassador.
yeah, he was cool. He was cool. I like that quest because like you got to see like their headquarters and everything. That whole section was interesting, right? But the problem is that that was like one of the only guys you met. Like him and shit, I'm trying to remember. There was that agent guy cuz what's her name was working for him. Uh one of your companions. She was like a secret agent for the snake people.
I think it was
Um
Andrea. No.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrea. You met with one of the agents or
Secret
whatever. Yeah,
agent girl.
yeah,
Secret
she was.
agent girl.
So
I
you,
could help it.
so yeah. But I felt like just overall to emphasize to just shorten my point, it's just all the factions could have just been done better because I feel like they really didn't stand out, and I feel like okay, the one thing that really keeps these games together, from Fallout to the Elder Scrolls, is the factions are where it's at. Like that's where you're gonna do most of your quests. That's where you're gonna remember a lot of the stuff that you're gonna do. And when your
For anyone that's
factions,
played Fallout, you want to kick the shit out of every Enclave soldier you find.
well, that too.
Hell
But
no, bro. I went full on Clave and Fallout 3.
okay, all right. I do like their armor. They got really good armor. That's
Yeah, the
right.
Exo 1 was fucking cool.
Yeah, the Exo
The
one
on-
was cool.
it was really cool. The only thing was that in 3 or New Vegas? I forget.
I think both.
Both?
So the Exo one exists in Fallout 3, but it's classified as Enclave armor. It's not actually called it's not called the Exo
Exo 1.
one. It's just
I
it's just
like
called Enclave, and they have Tesla Rise or Tesla armor.
I
And then
like
in New Vegas, it's called Enclave armor also.
I remember the one in Fallout 3. I liked the design they had for like the Tesla coils on your shoulders. That was really cool. The way they had the effect on that was really nice. And then the only thing was, okay, in Fallout 3 though, the armor that I wore like 99% of the time was that winterized TB51 armor that you got in Anchorage
Yeah.
because it never broke ever. You never had to repair it. I don't know if that was a glitch or what, but like it never had to be repaired.
Lucky.
Like
When I did my most recent playthrough, I ended up getting swarmed by Talon mercs almost immediately, getting my shit rocked. So I just ended up, because I couldn't get power armor for a bit, because I was, deciding, fuck it, I'll go full Paragon. And my arm, that Talon combat armor is the shittiest armor in the game. It seems like, because it just burns
What-
through durability so quick, and then just doesn't really protect for much.
well, that's the thing. Like, what's good is you want to hit Anchorage kind of early, and then they automatically give you power armor and power armor training, and that power armor that you get, it's completely unbreakable. And I think the Enclave armor its stats are like slightly better, but here's the thing. The TB51 power armor literally never breaks. So it's probably
Yeah.
one of the better ones to wear like 99% of the time because you don't have to fix it and fixing shit is like super expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. Thankfully, I had my repair skill spec'd rather high, so it wasn't too bad. But holy shit, man! That's all I gotta
And
say about that whole thing. Holy shit,
Apart from the Winterize, I think the only other piece of armor that I actually went out of my way to get was the medical power armor.
oh yeah, the one that like auto gives you
Medics.
impacts.
Yeah, the problem is that thing's smack dab in the middle of like a horde of death claws, so you need
I
like
remember that.
the fire lance or something like that, something that'll guarantee a one shot on them.
I
fucking
use
death
the
claws.
I would use the alien blaster on those fuckers because it would just insta kill them half the time.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, you got the alien blaster, and the fire lance is the like the higher power version of that, where it's just a guaranteed one tap for anything you pull the trigger on if you're in VATS.
oh really? Oh,
But you had to have your luck maxed out to get it because that's how rare it was to find it.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
I might have had it at like 9. I don't remember.
the one time I had that freaking thing pop up on me in a spawn, the rocket that it shows up on and explodes and drops the weapon and the ammo everywhere. It was nighttime.
Who?
It was dark as fuck. I couldn't see where shit was.
I probably
Luckily,
got it.
the ammo glows, but the gun was the hardest thing to find because it doesn't glow.
I think I might have had it, but I didn't remember it was called the fire starter or whatever.
The fire lance.
Fire lance. Okay. Yeah, I probably had it. Cuz I remember I did cuz I had a list of all the back when I first played, I had a list of like all the named weapons or whatever, and I went through all the I found every single one of them because back then I was super autistic about it. I went and I collected every single weapon and I got like every single like name thing. My old room I was so stupid. I I I stacked like 10 Coca-Cola truck things in my room just for fun. Like I decorated my whole room. I put the little clown mask on my bed and uh put like 2 knives like in like an X. Like I was just being stupid, but it was fun. It was I had a lot of fun back then.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It seems nowadays. Sorry for cutting you off, but it seems like
Oh, no, you're
nowadays
fine.
they just make games now, not to be enjoyed, but just to make games.
Well, no.
It,
So that's literally it. It's you look at every single publishing company or every single game development company. You take a look at the top 5, top 4, top 3 people that run the show. Not one of them is actually a game developer in any way, shape, or form, or actually even touched a video game in their life. These are all people that have gone to business school or have executive privileges within the company, and their job is to just make sure that every quarter that passes in the reports for the year, that they're actually making quota. So if that means that they have to pump out cookie cutter crap that the majority wants, even though their fans are going to be taking a swift kick in the nuts for it, they don't care as long as they're making that quota and they're meeting their quarterly earnings report for the 3 months that they had to, and they do that year over year. No, you're just never going to see that. If you're better off just buying your video games from an indie developer.
And even those are kind of like starting to get pretty crap now. It
Yeah,
seems like.
yeah.
Like the
Here and
last
there, yeah.
indie
Too.
game I played that I actually enjoyed was probably Hue, and that came out a while ago.
I feel like there's good games here and there, but it really does seem like they're really spread apart these days. I think one of the problems is that, when you get to be a big corporation, I think you stop having like ideals and like this passion for what you're doing, and it's more of like a big money project. And don't get me wrong, like everyone I'm sure who gets into gaming is like, I have no problem with someone chasing a bag, okay? Like I have no problem with that. Like make your money. But if you're gonna make your money, give me a good product. Like don't get into this mindset of, okay, let's not think of how good we can make a game. I feel like a lot of companies have this mindset of, okay, what can we get away with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let me do doing a quick search on Steam right now. Here is indie games and by release date. So let's see. We've got the demo for Don't Touch My Phone.
Don't
And
touch
there's no
my
review.
phone?
Yeah. These I'm just looking this up. There's no reviews
touch
on
my
these.
phone.
People haven't played them yet.
Okay.
I'm just
Just type in,
hold on.
just chat, just type in "Don't touch my phone." That's the whole game.
Exactly. Okay, here's one. Okay, here's one that got a good review. It's called not that. That's not family friendly at all.
Let me guess, it was Big Titty
Pretty
Simulator.
much. Pretty much.
Like
Yeah,
my
pretty much.
Steam, like since I decided to be like, okay, let's see, I'm an
Oh,
adult
here we
now.
go.
I can see the sexy. Oh my gosh, no!
What's crazy to me is that like if you like Steam reviews are crazy because like, okay, if you ever go to like the absolute like most, I think it was like either most viewed game or most played game or something like that.
Yeah.
It's always the weirdest shit you've never
yeah.
even heard about, and you're just
Mhm.
like, who the fuck is playing? And then you
It's
look
like I
at
can
it.
feel my
It's
I
like
can feel my brain cells dying.
it's some game like it'll be like some anime like card game with like that's also porn or some shit.
Why?
And you're just
That's
like,
something I
what?
don't understand about anime, card, or mahjong games. Why is it always fucking porn?
Here's a so speaking of that, yeah, speaking of the card game, January 8th release date for this year, 2024. It's got 45 positive reviews. It's a Hearthstone style card game called Primateria.
Okay.
And it's got good reviews, but it's already getting a discounted sale.
Amazing.
We've got
Great,
Rogue
perfect.
Frontiers. It's supposed to be an adventure simulation RPG casual indie game. No freaking no screenshot. Oh, here's the screenshots. Let's see here. What do we got? This looks like Final Fantasy ish meets. Actually, this looks like someone tried cloning New World.
Interesting.
Or no, not New World. What was that other one? It was not New World. It was
Lost Ark?
Was it Lost Ark? Path of Exile. That's the one I was thinking.
Ah.
Yeah, this looks like a Path of Exile meets Conan Barbarian Exiles.
What is it, like Titan Quest or something?
I'm excited for that Path of Exile 2 coming out next
I'm
year.
excited
Or
for
at least-
Titan
Nice.
Quest 2. Supposedly it's coming out this year, but there's no set date yet.
What's Titan Quest?
I'd say an old Diablo clone from 05 or 06 or so, but it's
Mhm.
gotten like an anniversary edition, which is on Steam, as well as DLC. Even it's pretty solid.
Hmm.
Like it's like you're in like Rome, and it's
Mhm.
fun. Granted, there are
Have
a
you
couple of issues, but it works pretty good on that.
have you seen the trailers for Path of Exile 2?
No, I hated Path of Exile. I gotta replay it at some point, but I fucking
Really?
hated the
Really?
game.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
Oh,
I grew up
bummer.
on
Oh.
on Fate, Torchlight, Diablo 2, the original Diablo, and
Mhm.
games like in that genre. Like I even just recently picked up Champions of Norath, and I'm enjoying the hell out of that. But I just cannot find myself enjoying Path of Exile.
Oh, so that's a bummer because man, okay, to be fair, I never played the first one, but the second one just looked really good to me. It just did. I don't know. I think part of it is also because they're including controller now, and I'm just like, ah, yes,
I think, but
because
wait though. Like if you have console, Path of Exile is on console, and it has controller
No,
support there.
well, yeah, if I'm playing on console, but I like to play on my PC,
I get it.
which I like to play on my PC with a console controller.
I do that
If
too.
I
Like
can.
I got an 8-bit Do wireless controller, and yeah, that's how I usually play my shit.
I need to. To be fair, I do have a PS5, and I probably should play something on that because, like, I feel like this fucking thing has no games.
Yeah, and if it does have games, like they don't have the right optimization for PS5 patches, so you can't even play them right.
Well, I got it as a gift, and I was so thankful. Like, I'm still thankful for it. Don't get me wrong, but like, I got what was it? I played Demon Souls.
Good
Okay, I
game.
like that, and I played God of War Ragnarok, and I also like that. And I think I played, what was it? Resident Evil 4 remake, and that was like it. Like that's all I've played on it. There hasn't really been many games on it like at all.
It's really a shame too, because like I was like when I was looking tax time like a year ago, I was thinking, okay, do I go for a series console, a computer upgrade, or a PS5? And I just sat on a computer upgrade. I mean, now I have a Series S, but like it really kind of makes me sad how much Sony squandered the potential of the PS5.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like you notice like
I'm well aware Sony's in
nowadays.
debt, but still.
Well, you notice now, like there's very rarely you see very many console exclusives these days. There's not
Oh
very
yeah.
many, like at all.
Oh yeah,
Like
consoles are dying out. Like it's just a matter of
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
Well, see, here's the thing. The thing that's irritating also is the fact that this isn't the first time Sony messed up like this. Because
Who
you
ain't
can just
kidding?
point to the PS Vita, for example.
oh
That
yeah,
That
maybe
console
had
still makes me sad.
that had maybe 3 years of it just being on life support because the company was trying to do the effort of putting support towards it, but really after
Mm.
the first 6 months of that handheld being out, they dropped all support for it. Whatever
Mm.
games came out, and everything else was just coming. Everything else that you could get for it was on the dedicated store application that was built into the handheld, and that was all indie development. But
Mm.
as soon as Sony pulled the plug on that entire handheld and shut down the servers that were dedicated to the network for its inbuilt app, all those games went into the ether.
Mm.
Yeah, thank goodness they're slowly
And
working on emulators like Vita 3K, as well as like there's a pretty good modding scene for the Vita, but still, like
Oh
it
yeah.
sucks.
the one thing though is I definitely hope that it doesn't die out completely because like one thing that I do like about the consoles, outside of just the pure price point, is that like well two things. One, back I haven't had this much problem nowadays, but back in the day when I first started playing on PC, uh, a lot of times I would buy a game and it just straight up wouldn't work on my PC.
I understand that. Like I never got a
like
graphics
Yeah.
card until 2016.
Like it just there was so many times where I would try to get a game and it just wouldn't work. Like even if the specs were correct, like it just would not work on the PC. And every time I got a game on my console, like it would just work. Like I didn't have to worry about it. But not only that, but like okay, I really really like the controllers that these systems make.
Oh
Yeah,
right?
they're
they're
Like,
really
nice.
nice controllers.
yeah. Like, I really like. Okay, I like the PS5 controller, and I really like the Xbox controller. Like, both of them are like super good, and I play like most games on my PC with the Xbox controller, or if I want to, maybe the PS5 controller. But like I want to play with those things. So like I don't want the consoles to die out because that would probably lead to less controller support or whatever. And plus, it's
Right.
good for people to have like a cheaper option.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
competition
Yeah, because
as well as cheaper
not
alternatives.
everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to spend $300-$400 on a scuff.
Well, also, like people don't want to spend like, like I think my last PC I spent like because I need a new one. I fucking conned myself with this fucking alien where I never should have done that.
This is why I
But on
always
my
like advocate for building from scratch, like I did.
Oh yeah.
I should have, but okay, here's the thing, and this is where I'm really stupid, okay? I built okay, on my last computer, it was a custom job, and I went to put in a new a new processor, and I was so stupid.
Oh no.
I didn't even check to see if the motherboard was compatible with the processor.
Ooh,
So
yep.
yes, so when I put it in, it wasn't the right type, and when I snapped the thing in, it just broke the thing.
Ooh.
And that was $500 down the drain, and it was
Ooh.
just like, I was just like, oh my lord. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go like After that, I went on like iBuyPower or whatever, and I just did like custom jobs actually, I say that. What I did the last time was I didn't want to fool with anything, so I just got Alien because I had a Alienware laptop for the longest time, and I that my parents had gotten for me, and it ran really good. So me being stupid, I was like, I'll just get one of Alienware's like pre-made computers or whatever. So I get this thing, and I write out the mail. The graphics card didn't work when I got it. Yeah.
Like,
Well, here's the crazy thing. Okay, it was the weirdest shit. Okay, so the computer turns on. I can load up a game, but after about 3 hours, the graphics card just shits the bed, and the computer turns off. Boop. And I would run this thing through stress tests. It would show up nothing. I would look through everything. It would show up nothing. I took it to a PC like repair person, right? He said there's nothing wrong with it. Okay? And
Strange.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. So I was like, they're not going to let me return this fucking thing because on paper, apparently there's nothing wrong with it, but there was, right? So now, okay, this is kind of funny. Okay, so my girlfriend, she gets me a 380. Okay,
right.
3080, and the casing on this thing is so small. It was built for like condensed things, and that's another thing I didn't know. So what I have is an extension card. I forget what they're called. SDIs.
A PCI riser?
PCI. Yeah, I have a PCI riser, and my graphics card is sitting on top of my computer.
Ah. Well, okay then.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to save up for a new computer, but it's been taking me long. Christmas hit me hard, so it's gonna take me a while.
I understand,
But
bro. I got socks, so I've been happy as a pig and shit.
Oh yeah.
I did you hear about the new what they're doing with the new 4000 series now? They're making
Yeah,
the
like the 4080 Super, 4070 Ti, and the 4070 Super.
What the fuck? Why? Why? There's no need for any of that.
Well,
I
no.
agree
Here's the
fully.
thing. Here's the thing. Okay. So all the new ones are cheaper than the current ones, but they're
Okay.
better than the current ones, which is good because okay.
It just makes me wonder what is Nvidia doing that
They're pulling a
like
Mr. Krabs. We like money.
yeah,
Well,
that's true. That's
What's
perfectly
crazy-
fine. Why
well,
didn't you pull that when you first released the 4080 series?
Yeah,
though?
that's the thing.
I think they were
It's
literally
good and
aiming for
bad.
AI bros and business folks.
Well,
AI
it's-
bros and business folks ain't doing that shit. They're just scalping their crap off of eBay like they always do.
What else is new?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's good and bad. It's bad for all the people who bought it early, and now because here's the thing, okay, the 4080 Super is $500 less than the 4080, and it also has better performance. So it's like all the people who bought the 4080 are probably like, "What the fuck?" but like everyone who didn't buy it is probably like, "Yeah."
I can hear Griffin Gaming being all like fucking stoned out of his gourd. Why the fuck did you guys do that?
Fair.
Makes me
Fair
glad
enough.
I went AMD this generation, and that
I
might
know.
like
be
when the
controversial.
4080 came out, Griffin was like the first person in line to shit on anyone that was complaining about the price tag, saying, "Oh, you're all a bunch of poor people."
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
Some of us have blue collar jobs for a fucking living. We don't live off of being streamers, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's not fair to just shame us all.
Poor
'cause
shaming is
it's like,
fucking dumb.
well, it's like half of us are fucking. Most of people.
Oh,
I'm
What's
a good
below
chunk
hilarious?
of
the
people are poor.
poverty line
What's
myself.
hilarious?
Yeah.
What's hilarious is that you're looking at. Well, so it's like I'm just gonna start name dropping. You got Griffin Gaming, you got Pokimane, you got what was the other one? There was like a third one.
Pokemon,
I forget the.
I don't even fucking count her as a person half the time.
Whoa,
But it's
hold
like
on there.
these are all people that like they are somehow, some way they made it to the top. They made it to the top of the mountain. They are at the mountain peak,
And they're trying to kick the
and they
ladder down.
yeah. Well, they're like, what the fuck's your problem? And it's just like, bro, some of us ain't got time on our hands like that to just grind the fuck out,
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's a
sorry.
gamble at best.
Sorry, I don't.
Exactly. Like,
Sorry, I don't make like 100K a year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Plus-
don't have the time to spend 8+ hours a day in front of my fucking camera. Like, shit. Like, the content I've
Shit, I wish
done,
I could
like,
do that. I'd at least just be
in
home.
preparation for the storm, like, I recorded, like, a couple of 2-minute videos, like, set ahead, so that way if power goes out, like, I got that shit set, because I don't have the
Yep.
time to just be like, hey, guys, we're playing a game. 8
Well, here's
hours.
the
Oh,
thing.
I'm having to switch over to doing recorded content instead of just mostly live streaming all the time now because with me being out in the middle of fucking nowhere, the only service I can get is Starlink and whatever internet's coming through my phone.
Oh, I have Starlink as well.
I
Yeah,
have
just got it.
like
Spectrum.
yeah, but Starlink is so fucking. It's just like it's dynamic signal connection, so it drops so much data packets that it just crashes the entire live stream.
I can't complain about Starfield because it's it's not Starfield, Starlink. I can't complain about.
Might as well.
I can complain about that, but no, I can't complain about Starlink because my last internet was like, okay, so where I live, it's crazy because I'm only like a mile outside of town, right?
Right.
But oh yeah, I'm 50 feet from Comcast being able to give me internet. But here's the thing, they won't come 50 feet.
50 feet.
Yeah, like 50 feet, there's a trailer park across the way. And that has full access to all the different internets in town. But because I'm 50 feet this direction, apparently I'm not on their map. So they're like, nope, can't come out, can't come the 50 feet over there.
That's pretty fucking stupid.
So here's the thing.
do
They
that
were
shit.
they were charged. There was this weird third party company. Okay, it was literally the only company that was out here, and they were charging us $80 a month for 5 megabytes per second.
Fuck's sake.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's even worse than
So-
anyone that lives on the East Coast probably knows about this thing. But you got HughesNet.
Oh,
yeah,
I fucking hate
fuck
HughesNet.
HughesNet.
I did
I don't
business
want
with
that
them,
shit.
and I regretted it ever since I did business with them. As soon as I got the chance to fucking rip my contract up, I fucking left the
Yeah,
system. Like, fuck
they
that.
were those were the only other people we had, I think, that, and I was just like, no, I'm not getting them. I've heard about all this shit with them. But Starlink, it eventually opened up. So now we have Starlink in this area, and it's so much better than what I had. Like, yeah, sure, it still drops here and there, but like it's infinitely better than what I had. So I really can't complain right
I'm not
now.
complaining.
Yeah.
It's funny we're talking about our internet woes. Like, until about, I think it's like 2009-ish, like, we had dial-up here for a bit.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, like, we went from, like, in the span of a year, my neighborhood went from dial-up to satellite internet to Spectrum. Well, I mean, Time Warner as it was then, but I mean, still. Which, speaking of, like, it used to be so much fucking better when it was Time Warner instead of Spectrum.
Dial-up was
Which
so
that's
crazy.
probably a hot take, but literally, like, internet, like, speeds, reliability, and whatnot was so much better in my area.
Shit, I lived
Fucking-
when I lived in Los Angeles. What was it? You had your choice of what was it? AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon Files. Holy shit, that kicked ass. I forget what else there was. But everyone that couldn't afford Verizon went over to AT&T or T-Mobile.
yeah.
They offer AT&T internet here, actually. Like, it's only up to, like, 120 down, but still.
Yeah.
Not bad. But what, well, no, I say that. Oh, you meant price. I thought you said 120 megabytes. I meant.
Yeah, it's like 120 down. It's something weird like that.
The funny thing about you mentioned dial-up. when I was a kid and we had fucking dial-up, it was I would try to get on like late at night, and then I kept forgetting the sound it would make. So every now and then, like I would go to load up, and the speakers were like full blast, or maybe it just seemed that way.
Let me
And
sing
it
the
just
song, my people.
yeah, and then I was like, oh jeez, I just woke up everyone in the house. Oh no. And what was weird is that, like, okay, so the internet ran off of like a phone line or something like that.
Yep, that's
And
pretty much what dial-up was.
Yeah.
and my dad, he had like a two phone lines, one hooked up to his shop and one hooked up here. And every time he took a call, he would sort of like disconnect the one. So every now and then the internet would just cut out because he decided to take a call.
Nice.
But it was really great back then.
It's like, damn it, Dad, I'm trying to play WoW!
No, I didn't even know what WoW was back then. I was playing like Post-it game. What was it? Armor games or whatever. RuneScape. I was playing
RuneScape, yeah.
RuneScape back in the game.
I somehow missed
Hunger
RuneScape.
Games.
Instead, like, what the hell is that one MMO back in the day that was advertised on the TV? Had this weird purple squirrel-looking creature. Like, it was vaguely medieval themed, but like there were car races.
Oh,
I don't know.
so it was a purple squirrel?
Yeah, it's like a purple squirrel-looking thing. May have been almost a fox. It was this weird-ass fantasy creature.
Well, to be fair, okay, back in the day, like I was super sheltered. Like we didn't have cable. So like I probably didn't see any commercials back then outside of my cousin. She was really nice, and she would record, like she'd like hit record on like
I
cable
gotta search this
things.
up.
I had a grandmother who did that, who'd record stuff and throw it onto VHS for me.
I caught like a couple current shows at the time, but like it was she gave me like maybe like 6 tapes, and that was like it. So like, you know, I didn't see that much, but I knew a little bit about what was going on, but like I didn't have TV basically.
Fair enough.
So
Like,
it sucked.
for a while, we had rabbit ears here. So, like, I used to be able to catch the NBA games, most of the Tom Bergeron run of AFV, and, like, one news channel. And also, strangely enough, the Lawrence Welk show. I missed that show.
We had my grandma next door. She had like the bunny ears or whatever you want to call them. And they could get like I think it was channel 22 or whatever. I could watch like Saturday morning cartoons. I could watch it was Sonic the Hedgehog and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I remember Ultimate Muscle, I think, a couple episodes.
Nice.
I don't remember I don't remember everything, but it was only on Saturdays. Only on Saturdays, but yeah.
Our local channel for Saturday mornings, before they cut that shit off, I was like, I think I was like 7 they stopped doing the Saturday morning shit. But they had That's So Raven, Hannah Montana, multiple
Jesus.
different Power Rangers shows. Like at
Now
one
I
point
feel
there was
old.
Mystic Force as well as Mighty Morphin. God, I missed
Fuck's
those.
sake.
And then
Yep.
like that was kind of it. Like I more gave a shit about Bill Green Maine because like nothing against the Disney shows, but like I don't know. It's like you see one Disney show around, then you kind of saw them all because they all follow the same format. It seemed like.
Yeah, people just get themselves in trouble on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations, you're a victim of your own stupidity.
See, that's actually one of the reasons I was kind of glad to get cable because I got to introduce to the Three Stooges, Twilight Zone,
Oh yeah.
and shit like that. Which like I didn't even realize until I turned like 21 that there were more runs than just the Rod Serling run of Twilight Zone.
It wasn't until I got like decent access to the internet, which wasn't until like later that I realized, oh wait, I can watch shows on the internet. Oh shit, time to. That's when I started finding all the shows that I like watch nowadays.
Right.
Like, because plus it's better anyway because like I didn't have to watch like as many commercials. Oh, speaking of which, fucking they've started adding way more ads on everything nowadays in comparison to like back then.
I know. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
granted, like there were pretty bad then, but it seems like everything, like even like streaming services, they have pretty shitty ones now.
Stand
Well-
by. You've got 70 ads to go before you can start watching the show.
Well, remember like back in the day, like you had like say like Kiss Anime or whatever,
That's
and
good
like
times.
you could just hit play, and like yeah, sure, there's like ads on like the little side or whatever, but like now like you try like a lot of websites, you hit play, and then a pop up pops up, and then you close that, you hit it one more time, and then another pop up comes up. And then after that, it plays, but like still, you get like two things, and then sometimes, and then I mean, hell, even YouTube, you have multiple ads in one video. It used to be there wasn't any ads at all.
That's one of the reasons why, like, even as a YouTuber, I very much advocate for ad block because, like, it's insane. Because, like, people, are acting like ads are bad now, but, like, I remember at one point back 2012 when there were 2-hour plus unskippable ads that it didn't matter. You were stuck, forced to watch.
Jeez.
I don't mind I don't mind like the ones right at the start of the video where
Yeah,
like the 5 second skip.
pre-roll ads are one thing, but, like, it's just everything's so fragmented. It's like ad 5 seconds, ad, and it's like you can't even really watch the shit anymore.
I kind of like the ones where like the like I know Nostalgia Critic. I think what he does is one thing he does. It like
Yeah, the way he
he'll
does it
put-
is classy, like him and Cinema Snob. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do like a big ad like right in the middle, but you can skip it if you want because like he just does the ad himself.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
he'll promote
awesome.
whatever. Yeah, he'll do like his own commercial for something, but you can just skip it if you want. So like it's nice.
I don't know, I kind of like hearing him talk about stamps.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys,
it's
you guys ever you guys ever watched you guys ever watch Fat Electrician?
Yes, I
A what?
fucking love that channel. Like between him and Wendigoon, like my family knows
So-
about history whether they want to or not.
So Fat Electrician, one of his ad breaks that he did, he was talking about a brand of disposable utility gloves. And the hilarious thing about that is right at the very end of the ad break, he goes, "Okay, you're gonna feel some pressure. I mean, back to the video." It's just
Amazing.
he turns all like he gets the ad reads. He doesn't do the ad reads. He just does a whole fucking skit, and that's part of the video.
Yeah, that's kind of like how the Nostalgia Critic does his. It's very similar.
Wasn't
But
that like how
it's good.
Gus Johnson did it for a bit too?
I haven't watched like long form with him. I've only seen like his skits.
Like I've seen some of his long form stuff. Like some of it's pretty good. Like he even did a video, like just seeing how many jalapeno stems there were on Subway sandwiches.
Jeez.
Look, I had a
That's-
lot of fucking time on my hands at one point, and I got into the weird side of YouTube. Also, I was on like a
mean-
regular on his streams, and the
I
guy's
didn't-
pretty friendly.
No,
I didn't know
you
there
have
was jalapeno stems in a Subway sandwich, but okay.
no, you haven't been on the weird side of YouTube till until it's like 3 a.m. in the morning and you're watching Elsa X Spider-Man porn or some shit.
I said
Oh,
the
sure.
weird side, not fucking Elsa Gate, thank you.
Fucking Elsa Gate was crazy. I have not watched those videos, but I watch people talk about those videos. Fucking Elsa
Like,
Gate. That shit was wild.
the fact
I-
that
I-
that shit is let slide on YouTube, like, it still
How-
boggles the mind.
I want to know how videos like okay, I've seen so many of these like okay, so do you remember J Station?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
The fuck
So
is J Station?
Muda did a couple videos on him. He was one of them, like, the most infamous 3 a.m. YouTuber. Like, there was even, like,
Okay.
something involving police at one point, because he faked his girlfriend's
fuck?
death.
I'm ignoring all that. Okay, just the style of video. All right, like that style, that very very fake. Like, oh wow, I got a pizza at 3 a.m. and it was from a ghost. And then like people act, and then someone like is actually like, yeah, I'm gonna watch like 30 more of these. Like, why? Why?
It is a special kind of self-hatred that forces you through those videos.
I
That just
don't.
sounds like the dumb crap that Rice Gum was doing when he first started out. Like
It's-
Nah,
was
Rice
all,
Gum
like,
was
just
classier.
straight, just stirring the shit pot to see what kind of content he could make.
Like, I just don't understand like who wants to watch like outside unless you're like maybe like 5, your parents like threw something on and it's like, oh, but even then, like, what are you doing?
Like 5
What are
on
you doing?
YouTube, I was watching the... Well, not 5, but like a little kid on YouTube, I was watching the Nerf Gun zombie series that people were making, as well as the zombie machinimas. Like, that were actually pretty good, like, indie films. Like, just actually made by YouTubers.
I was watching stuff from like Wayside Creations where they did like Fallout Nuka Break type stuff.
Oh, I
You
remember
were
that
seeing,
back in the day.
yeah, you were seeing all these different like indie studios doing their own little one shot miniseries
I
of
remember
like
those.
anything and everything they could get their hands on, and a lot of them were really good shit. They were well done.
I know, like, we had
the low
such
budget
an
they were running
amazing
on.
fountain of creativity people were tapping, and it's just such a shame that, like, people don't tap the same well anymore.
You get a few things. Now me, you know me. Well, you don't know me, but okay. So I've always been a little bit big into the horror scene a little bit,
Same.
Right.
and I like these analog. People say they're overdone. I
Oh, the
don't.
found footage.
Well, not found footage, but like analog horror stuff.
Like, similar to Mandela Catalog, like that whole vein?
Yeah, like man.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wendigoon and
Yeah.
Papa Meat were
Wendigoon
talking
talks.
about like Ted the Caver and shit like that.
Yeah. So the thing about this is that I've heard people say that like it's overdone or whatever. I've only seen like 2 or 3 series on the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, there's like...
I don't.
I've seen, like, in all... It's like 8 analog horror series I've seen. 8!
Yeah, like they're not overdone. Like, there's barely any at all. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, they need more. Like, I'd gladly see some more. Oh, speaking of which, if you like analog horror, there's a new one, Greylock. If you haven't seen that one yet,
That
yeah,
sounds
Greylock.
familiar. I think I've seen like
I'll have to
1 or
look at
2
it.
pieces
Give
of it.
get. I'll post it here later or something. It's a pretty good one. I think it's recent. It hasn't, but it's not all the episodes isn't out, but it has like cool lore. Like, okay, you know how like the Mandela catalog, how like each episode like you kind of like learn more and more about the world and whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like each episode, like you kind of like there's like a mystery and you like start to learn more and more about stuff. And I don't know, I liked it. I don't know if you'll like it, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, like I like stuff like that, and I usually go to Wendigoon to find new shit and whatnot.
Well, like
But
Oh, sorry, you first.
Oh, I was just gonna say Wendigoon's cool. That's all.
I know,
Continue.
like, I'd absolutely love to shoot the shit with that guy at some point.
Oh, he's great. I love Wendigoon. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, pretty good sense in fashion, too.
Yeah, I mean it's not my style, but by all means, hell.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a very like colorful. It's not much. It's something you don't
no.
see much of anymore.
Well, I like when other people do it. Just like me, I dress like a punk emo, so like I'm different.
I wear
I'm
paisley
special.
prints
I'm a
usually.
special snowflake.
Nothing wrong with that.
A lot of it looks like I just walked out of a construction site. That's just my clothes. I like. I'm not wearing it if it can't take abuse. Because
That's
more
me with
often
my
than not,
clothing too. Like most of my
That-
clothing is like 10+ years old, and this shit's taken some beatings, but it's still going.
yeah,
to
it's
be
like
fair, most of my work days I look like that because like I just wear like fucking black Dockers with like a black work shirt and overalls. So not overall, sorry, suspenders.
yeah.
I miss my old pair of overalls. Those things were great.
Oh, I still have what is it? I still have because of the nature of the job that I do, I still have to wear coveralls every now and again when winter rolls around. So I have like a pair of insulated coveralls.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I used to never wear suspenders. I always think they look so dorky, but here's the thing, okay? When you're fat, they are so useful.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they are. Yeah, they
They
are.
are so like I like no matter how tight I tighten my belt. Like I can tighten it to the point where like it's hard to breathe. My pants still like fall down in the back cuz of my fucking butt or whatever, right? Like I'm just like I need suspenders. Like they hold up my pants better.
I
I'm not
understand, man. Big gut,
Yeah.
flat ass.
No, here's my thing. I got a big butt and it still fucking happens.
Fair enough.
Like it's just but yeah,
I
I'm when I get thinner,
I
I'll drop the suspenders.
I realized the usefulness of the suspenders when I actually had to crawl into and out of a giant machine that's here's a giant steel machine. You got no business being in the tight little nooks and crannies of that thing, but we need you to get in there so you can fix it because we don't know who the hell messed with it last time. Okay,
Right.
cool. Let me crawl in there, even though I got no business being in a hole that's about two twice as small as I am large, and just like
Are you like
exhale as hard as I can and kind of just shimmy my way through the hole.
are you like a steel worker or something?
I was a steel worker. Now I'm just a forklift operator.
Oh, okay. I'm still waiting to get my forklift license. The guy who gives them out is we got a guy who like trains people for it at my job, but
Right?
he's never there. So like I keep waiting.
Jeez.
Yeah, I keep waiting to like ask him, but like he's never there. So I'm just like, okay.
I gotta
Oh,
get
he's
my
on vacation
forklift
again. Oh, he's on
certification one of
vacation
these
again.
days.
What'd you say?
I said I gotta get my forklift certification one of these days.
Oh yeah, it's handy to have. I mean,
Oh yeah.
plus you can just say that you have it. Makes all the ladies swoon. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. The only people who I've ever met who have certifications are either like men or femboys.
For what?
Wait a minute. What?
Men.
Say it again. I
I
didn't hear
said
you.
men or femboys.
For
like
what?
Like who have forklift certifications.
Oh.
That's funny.
Like literally though, like I was even in a like in a group at one point, mostly comprised of people who worked in the adult entertainment industry, and you'd be surprised at the forklift between pipe layer and forklift certified.
Oh boy.
Nice.
I mean,
That's
hey,
funny. That's funny.
you do what you gotta do. I mean, hey, and
Yep.
I mean, hey, same people. I mean, yeah. But oh man,
Let's see.
I just saw, man, we've gone for almost 1, 2. Oh, okay, 2.5 hours. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Oh, are y'all doing the podcast now?
Yeah.
we've been doing it.
Whoops.
It's fine, bro. It's fine.
Yeah,
I was
we've
like,
been
wow,
doing.
these guys are on right now. I wonder what they're doing. Let me just hop in and talk to them.
Yeah, he's been recording this whole time.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Hey, let it
we've
never be said. I never pass up the opportunity to make myself look like a knucklehead on the internet.
Yeah,
Don't we
yeah.
all? Don't we all?
Yeah, we all did today. But I don't know.
Fair enough.
I feel like hitting. I don't know. I'm tired.
I mean, if you gotta
well,
go
I got
off,
one
man,
thing I
it's
can-
fine.
I got one thing I can read real quick.
What are you reading?
So here's the I was doing searches just because we were talking about indie games. So I went ahead and looked up by release date, and that was all the weird crap that was just popping up on Steam. Then there's the stuff that came out by relevance. And I guess these are the top games, the top indie games right now. Rust, Hell Let Loose, Phasmophobia, Stardew Valley, Project Zomboid. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that have come out, but a lot of them, let's see, like Project Zomboid was in 2013, Stardew Valley is 2016, Rust is 2018, Hell Let Loose was in 2021, and Phasmophobia is a game from 2020.
What'd you look through? Top sellers or?
No, just I searched up indie games and hit relevance.
Oh, okay.
And then like the next 5 is House Flipper. That was December of 2023.
I looked up.
Party Animals. Party Animals. I can understand why though. There's some satisfaction in just punching the crap out of someone and seeing them ragdoll.
I typed in really quick top sellers and sort by user reviews, and the top like one, I don't know how many that is in, but like all like I can scroll for a little while and like I don't know any of these.
Yep.
I've never heard of any of these.
Yeah, all of these games that are popping up on my list right here, these are all games that have already been out.
Like,
Mm,
have you
mm.
played Zomboid?
I have a copy of Zomboid.
Like, it's crazy how much that game has changed over the years. Like, it was like a pseudo 2.5D isometric at one point. Like, it's literally night and day. Like, if you ever get the chance, look up some old videos from around the time of launch. Like,
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
be
I'm gonna have to.
amazed how different it is.
That's what people have
Yep.
told me. I still need to play a little bit more, but
Oh,
I haven't like delved into it just yet. I it's one of the games I've just haven't gotten into yet, but I will at some point. I have it. I only dipped my toe in it for like a minute.
One
and
of
here's
my
one that I got into
friends.
recently is Satisfactory.
Oh, that game, like I've heard, is like nothing but good reviews from, like both
yeah.
from like one of our mutual friend groups, plus my friend from South Africa and whatnot. Like,
A buddy of mine told me, be careful playing that because you'll look down and then you'll look up and realize the sun just came up.
yeah, that's
What-
me with like Dynasty Warriors.
Oof,
Wait.
there's a game series I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, it basically friggin' killed itself, which is a shame because like they could have done so much better, but instead we got Dynasty Warriors 9. I mean,
I
9
remember
Empires I've heard is okay, but like I've put a few hours into 9. That
I
game
remember
is
the Vita
rough.
they had Dynasty Warriors Gundam.
They also, I think, had Dynasty Warriors Aikitsudan, which, like, I think it was, like, here known as God Seekers. Like, that game was pretty
Oh,
neat.
alright.
Like, have you played that one?
I can't say that I have.
It's, if I
I
recall,
have
it's like
not.
a card-based one or something like that. Like, it was,
Huh,
like,
weird.
a whole different direction than the traditional hack and slash, and, like, it worked.
Nice.
That's cool.
Props to you if you can figure it out. Ice, you were gonna say something?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't recall.
Mm.
I forgot what I was gonna ask.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. It probably wasn't that big anyway. But
And then we got RimWorld, Risk of Rain 2, RoboQuest, DayZ, Raft, The Freaking Binding of Isaac, a game that's already a decade old and it's still going strong.
I'm surprised
my
RoboQuest
brother
is that
was just
popular.
playing it.
Oh, sorry.
I've never played RoboQuest, but
It's-
I
Me
was just
neither.
It's bad.
oh okay.
All right, go ahead, Ice.
Oh, I was just saying my brother plays. Was just playing Binding of Isaac here recently.
I got into it, and then I'm like, man, it's nice. I like it, but it's way too chaotic. Like, not chaotic in the sense of just how like the enemies. It's chaotic in the sense that I can't. I don't know what all the items do, and there's way too many items to study.
From my brother tells me the best course of action. Well, he kept getting shit items. He was wondering why. And the thing is, you have to like unlock like better items for like better run throughs or whatever. But my thing is, is I'm a little bit biased because like I'm not a big fan of roguelikes very much because
Right.
I don't like restarting with all my I feel like I've worked for nothing, like
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
that.
I feel that.
because like I like building my character like throughout the game. Like I'm a big nerd when it comes to like leveling up systems. Like if a game doesn't have a level up system, like half the time I'm just like I don't even want to bother.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
the idea of like playing a game and just losing all my progress within the same run is just like, no, please. I've seen a couple games do it okay where like okay, Hades is okay. Like I
I've
ran
heard a
through
friend of mine say Hades is really good. Yeah.
yeah, the thing with Hades is that you get to keep certain things here and there. Like you can level up like stuff in this mirror thing, and basically the runs get a little bit better. That and Dead Cells. Dead Cells is cool because you can take some of the stuff that you gain during the levels and then you can like upgrade so that you're a little bit better for the next run. Like you still lose stuff, but like
Right.
it's a little bit better. And I think that's the way to do it because like if it's just completely you lose everything, like that just sucks. Like damn.
Yep.
Like I'm sure there's people who love that, but for me, I'm just like, I don't, because it's kind of like imagine if you got like halfway through a game and then you just like died once and it's like, well, you got to go back to the beginning of the game. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, I don't. That's torture to me. Like,
Yeah.
don't make me do that.
Yeah, that's just it's like damn, all that effort and it's gone to shit.
Yeah, just wasted. But I was thinking like, since we're coming up on 2 hours here, maybe we should cut uh cut it just because like I feel like I'm
Oh
gonna run
yeah.
out. Cut just so the so we'll have something to talk about next time because I feel like I've gone through half my life story already.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
Oh,
if
I've
you
got
want, then I
stories.
can end
Trust
it
me.
here,
I've
and then
got
we can,
stories.
yeah.
Just because like I want to have something to talk about next time if we have another podcast.
I'd be totally down for another one with you.
Yeah, because I figure if you're gonna do a podcast, I figure you're gonna do more than one.
Oh yeah, like I got like assuming power doesn't go out, I got like 2 guests like tomorrow and Thursday already lined up.
Okay.
Like one is a VTuber, a rather
Nice.
popular one in our shared Twitter circle, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, and then another one's also a VTuber. I got like 2 VTubers lined up, and then I got another one on Sunday.
Okay.
Sheesh. And there's my stupid ass.
Hey,
Yeah,
there's
just wanted to
nothing
jump in.
fucking wrong with you, George.
Oh
Honey,
no, it's funny because no, like so I was part of a VTuber group, and then I like what was it? I just find out on Twitter, hey, yeah, the VTuber group is now joining up with this other group, and then I'm noticing, hey, I'm no longer part of this group because no one told me, but I'm no longer in their Discord server. Everything's gone to shit,
Oh,
and
bummer.
I think while we were doing this podcast, like around the beginning when I dropped in, I got in contact, or someone from the group contacted me asking me, "Hey, so what do you think about the news?" I'm like, "I don't know what to think. Y'all didn't tell me shit. What the fuck happened?" And they went, "Oh yeah, we went ahead and did a merger, and as soon as the merger was
Oh,
completed, all operations ceased." I'm like, "That's not a merger, kid. That's a buyout.
yeah,
You just fucking
exactly.
lost everything."
what?
Yeah, like that's
So
one of the
wait,
reasons
you're
I'm tempted to start a an agency myself. See if I can get some of the names in.
What
so
was
like
your
wait,
question, Ice?
wait, so you're like in this Discord with these other people, and they just
Yeah,
like, and they just kick you out, and then like,
yeah,
because
yeah.
they got bought out by like some other thing.
Well, the funny thing is that they started it off as we are going ahead and do a user purge of the Discord because we need to do this specific we need to do this specific thing where we're removing users that haven't been active in a while. Now, me being as busy as I am Monday to the left, I don't spend much time on Discord, so
Right.
I know my stupid ass is about to get yeeted into the void.
Mhm.
But I don't get a heads up. I don't get a notice about anything. The most I heard was, yeah, we're doing a user purge. Then I
Some
find out on Twitter from their official account that they're merging and that's the reason why they're shutting down.
Sometimes with stuff like that, it's really just they want people gone.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, cool. The least you could have done is told me about it.
Yeah, no problem. Like, it sucks. Like, you'd think there'd be, like, communication, but I noticed, like, with a lot of VTuber agencies, like, that seems to be the thing in general. Like, remember that, like, thing, what was it, Pippa? Like, was she the one who was part of that drama at one point, where she got kind of screwed? Or was that a different one I'm thinking of? Oh, I just got 2 messages. Hold on. Let me just check here. Alright, let me just deafen then real quick. Hold on, where's the... Okay. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you want to see more, just like, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be 2 more podcast episodes coming out. Love you guys, and I will see you soon.